You're live.
Yay.
How you doing?
Good. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I put together a whole presentation today. It felt like I was preparing for class again. Which of course I always used to do last minute, so that's why it felt familiar.
Okay, well, I will do my best to support your slideshow as much as I can.
Oh yeah, no, I'm presenting it basically to you for your filmmaker's perspective on all of these things.
Okay, great. Great. So before we get to that,
yeah, of course.
I just want to say hello to Feels Bad Man is here. We haven't
Nice.
seen Feels Bad Man in a while. It's good to see you. Delicate's here. Demon Child's here. And Erica is here. Hello, you guys. What's going on? Good to see you guys. Sorry for getting, the rails switched on us yesterday. We had all this, this thing that you were talking about where you were planning on doing.
Oh, yeah. Well, it's no big deal. It's kind of timeless. Baldoni's claims are unsupported by any evidence then and now and in the future. So it's fine.
Yeah, that's true. So anyway, I just got a little derailed because I didn't see that coming. I'm really not following Leo's release of this movie.
Yeah.
But it was brought to my attention, obviously, yesterday in a way that just kind of tilted me a little bit.
Yeah, you were fine.
I haven't even looked at the video.
I wouldn't say tilted. I just think, when you admit that your mouth gets dry and you start to get sweaty palms, I'm like,
don't do that.
Oh, yeah.
I mean, he's a big fucking deal. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And he's about to get even bigger because the reviews it's trending to potentially become the highest critically reviewed movie of all time. It is trending toward becoming, I'm just going to repeat that. This fucking movie of Leonardo DiCaprio's is trending to become the fucking highest critically rated movie of all time.
I mean, I knew when they approved that budget that they thought it was going to be special. So,
I don't know if I was secretly wanting it to fail or just wanting it to not be a big deal or whatever. It's going to be a big deal. Yeah.
Why would you prefer one way or the other?
Probably just because I feel nervous about it all.
Oh, right. Like Leo season. When Leo's out promoting,
I get anxiety, period, during these times when there wasn't a book, when there wasn't an open letter, when there wasn't...
Yeah, because your worst abuser in life is just everywhere.
Everywhere.
Constantly shown everywhere.
And love pouring out of people for him.
Yeah.
He's this, he's that. He's the amazing Leonardo DiCaprio.
It's changed a little, I think.
And I'm sitting there with the heavy chest. It has.
He's done a lot of...
I also have a book and I feel stronger because of it.
Yeah, that's good. But he's also kind of screwed up his reputation a little with people.
Oh my God. Lee said that they left a 5-star review on Amazon. I'm so excited. I'm going to go read it.
That's fun.
I won't read it live though.
How wonderful.
Thank you so much, Lee. I can't wait to read it.
Even if it's just a rating and not a review. That's so massive.
It said review.
Ooh, that's great. They're going to love you, Dale. Your name...
Somebody was watching Don's Plum and then I went live. So you were just like, oh shit, I'm going to go check out the guy who's making the movie that I'm watching right now?
That's funny.
That's really neat. That's a first. Maybe that'll happen a lot now because people are going to come check out the movie because of... because during Leo season, that's when the movie gets its biggest spike, always. Anyway, yeah, I'm fucking nervous about it. I really am. I'm definitely nervous, but I'm kind of nervous in that same way, when you're on a roller coaster, you paid for this shit, you know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
You're locked in, and everybody's like, okay, you're supposed to be, you're supposed to yeah, this is going to scare me, and yeah, there's this extremely slight chance that it might end me, but for the most part, this is just going to be, fun. And I think that's just how I have to look at it, even if he becomes really vicious and horrible, and even if, they come at us doxing and doing whatever they do. If that happens, I think I just have to try to cling to that kind of a perspective, I guess.
You know what we should do?
What?
Is we should put up one of those detectives crazy walls and just talk about Don's Plum the whole time. I would love to put up a set behind you where it's like a bunch of red string connecting like the picture of Leo picking his nose from the movie with like,
yeah.
you know, a picture of CAA. Like, I'll do it, bro.
Right?
I'll find a wall in this place. What?
Aloud is saying holds up, which is nice.
Oh, good.
But someone stole the movie or something, which is a shame. Yeah, Leonardo DiCaprio actually wrote a book. Like the book behind me is Too Real, a Hollywood Memoir. I'm actually, the reason I'm live and the reason I began doing these lives in the first place was to start promoting this book when I released it last year. And then it kind of just turned into commentary. And Angela and I just started really enjoying the company of some of you who are here now. I mean, Delicate's been here for like forever. Erica's been around forever. Like we have some people who've been around, and I say forever because like I'm talking like we have 93 episodes up on YouTube, and they were on the TikTok where we did 300 additional hours of lives, or somewhere in the neighborhood of 100 plus shows.
Yeah, that was fun.
Or lives, or whatever you want to call them. So.
I think you were getting to, but someone stole the movie or something, is what this comment says.
So I've been promoting the book, which I wrote behind me, which is really a companion to the movie. But yes, Leonardo DiCaprio basically not only, stopped the movie from coming out, but he destroyed my life and the lives of many others. And he even put his, big, heavy boots down on his own friend's work. It was pretty wild.
Aloud said someone was saying there's a book and documentary about it.
Yeah, the documentary is not mine. I didn't make the documentary, but I'm in it. That's the New York Post.
It's a 3-part series.
Three-part.
It's kind of hard to find all 3 parts unless you look for the playlist specifically on YouTube. But it's on YouTube. You can find. It's called The Curse of Don's Plum.
But the book really is the be all for it.
And the true unfiltered story.
Yeah, it's got everything.
Like not edited by somebody at the New York Post who wants to tell their own story, Yeah,
this was that, or Vanity Fair, like every bit of press that I did, every interview I did, and they were big venues, and they just totally were corrupt in the way that they worked with the publicists, and we see this happening in the Baldoni and Lively lawsuit, and it's a part of what has me so fascinated and following so closely that case. But, also, I really just enjoy commentary. I love opining on shit. So I think Hollywood's probably the best place for me. It'll be the place I get in the least amount of trouble, man, especially these days, man. I ain't got no courage, you know what I'm saying?
What do you mean Hollywood's the best place for you?
Hollywood is the best subject for me to be opining on. So so I can, mitigate the potential damage coming my way for my mouth, because I got a big one. You know what I'm saying?
So Damon Child said I need to find a copy of Don's Plum so I know what the cool cats are talking about.
It's right here on this channel.
Yep.
Just go to the videos section, and it'll be next to the Horny Growl.
Also, where is this? Sorry, I got lost.
I am going to put a little intro on that eventually.
Austin is asking what happened to TikTok.
Leo and I are not on good terms, no. In fact, Leo's probably going to be coming after me very shortly, I would guess. Pardon me?
Austin is asking what happened to TikTok.
Well, TikTok was really what? We were covering the Karen Reed trial, and we had this episode where we were talking about just before it was the live before the verdict, really.
Yeah, I think we were talking about the victim's wounds, and they flagged us for hate speech somehow.
Yeah, and then I appealed, and they held it up.
I cannot figure out how
and I was
that
like, there's
happened.
no way I can create a stable community here.
Yeah.
You know
if you're
I mean?
being like falsely accused of something.
Well, I'm covering somebody else's story, dude.
I think someone reported you for hate speech. It didn't mean that you actually said anything, but somebody can just toggle that selection,
Yeah. So we moved over to YouTube, where we hope it's a little more Wild Westy, that we can actually just keep on our topics. And anyway, TikTok, I loved it. I really did. And then the other thing is that they're very proprietary with everything. So I can't use the software that I use or the hardware that I want to use. I have to use their software.
Yeah, that's a pain.
It's a bummer.
This is a better fit. I like it here too. What's up?
Alex said, hear from the red carpet video, and the first thing I hear is Leo's coming for me, so it's definitely you. What red carpet interview? Is this recent? What is it? What's the red carpet interview? Oh, my mouth is drying out again.
No. I think you are on a interview.
Oh, like I did an interview for somebody?
Yeah, like maybe a podcast called Red Carpet something. I don't know.
I do them all, don't I?
You said Leo's coming for you.
Oh, I just said it today.
You said it today.
Yeah, I just said it a moment ago. That's
Babe,
what Alex was saying.
You're gonna fucking manifest it, bro, if you keep this shit up. You're gonna speak it into existence. Listen, we can't fuck around, dude. Your Neptune is on your ascendant. Like, we can't fucking... You're a mystic, and you're, like, totally willy-nilly with your fucking powers, bro.
I know. Life and everything about it is an enigma to me. And yet...
You gotta watch what you say.
I do. I'm just what I'm saying. Like, this is a part of what I'm talking about. You know, I always harken back to that memory of me, you know, Don Splum gets into the Berlin Film Festival, and despite going through absolute hell 3 times over to get there, I'm still genuinely like a child excited for this moment, for the premiere of my movie at a major film festival in Europe. And then I get a call from the lawyer. And the lawyer says, because he knows that I got a big damn mouth, he says, Go to Berlin and have a great time, but when you're asked about the film or when you're talking about the film in any way, only say the following. And he blurted out 2 sentences, something similar to, you know, I'm just so glad that all of this is behind us and that we're able to move on amicably forward with the movie, even if it is in this limited form or something to that effect. And that was it. And he was like, don't even add a party. Don't, you know, like elaborate on that in any way, or you could find yourself on the wrong side of a mediation. And just maybe a couple months before that, or I don't know, it was a short time before that, Leo and Toby already hit Metters up and got $1 million judgment against him. And so Berlin marked the only hope I had left at making money. If that goes well, maybe I make money. After 6 years of fighting. And so I made the difficult decision to just, like literally the day before I was supposed to fly out, I changed my flights to Rome, and I took my wife to Rome, and we went and saw art.
This is what happens as a result of these like settlements, you know, like the person who didn't do anything wrong, who was just trying to get a win in the court because they deserve one.
Yeah.
Gets dragged into these settlements where they have to lose so much. And then even after, you couldn't speak freely about your experience.
Nope.
I mean, it's fucked up. Here's the thing.
Scary.
I want you to stop today. I want you to quit the habit of saying, Leo's coming after me. What I want you to say instead is,
Leo loves me.
Leo may want to come after me, but he will clearly recognize that everything in that book that he hates and all the things that you've ever said about him are true. And he knows that
it's too long of a sentence. I need a more slogan-y thing.
So he knows he cannot go after you because it'll just expose what an asshole he's been for the last 20 years.
Leo loves me. Okay, he loves me. All right.
Okay.
Fuck Leo. I'm excited for his film. I actually am. I'm excited for all of them. P.T. Anderson, you know, he got on my nerves in the biggest way when he dissed on art house film. I'll never let it go. But, you know, I'm excited for him. You know, unlike P.T. Anderson, you know, I don't hold grudges on against other artists for nothing. And so, you know, I wish him the best. You know what? I took that personally. I really did. I felt like, you know, I know damn well, because I know how the business works, that P.T. Anderson knows about my book. I know it because they have a major release coming out, and this is potentially a problem for it. So, or at least, you know, as far as, you know, hits to any reputation or whatever. And it's something they had to address. And I know they addressed it because I had 3 major pieces of press that were supposed to come out. All 3 of them were squashed. And that is 100% Leonardo DiCaprio. There's no doubt in my mind about it, although I don't have any actual proof of that. So that is, to some extent, speculation.
Aloud is asking, did you steal the movie, or like, does Leo think you stole the movie?
So I never stole a movie. No, I made it. I wrote it.
Yeah, it's Dale's movie.
I made the movie. How could I steal the thing I wrote? No. There's no stealing involved. It's a long story, best told in the book behind me, but it's actually a wild story. It's a very unique story in Hollywood.
I feel like it's like accurate to say that Leo stole your movie because it was just about to be sold. Everybody was approving of it, including himself and his agents. Everything was cool. And then he just up and changed his mind and then blocked all of that sale and kept you from benefiting at all. You and dozens of other crew members and actors, his peers, from benefiting from their work. Yeah. So I do believe that was a theft. You can say that he stole the movie. You know, he can't claim you stole anything from him.
No,
that's for sure.
He doesn't. You know, he claims I changed a short into a feature, which is equally stupid. You know, he claims that we told him we were making something else, and then we made it into another thing. And let me tell you that that's just the most ridiculous thing in the world to say, to believe, and to execute. Like, it's impossible to execute. We were friends with him the whole time. It wasn't like we were like, you know, we were hanging out at his house. He was hanging out at ours. He hung out at the mansion where we were cutting the movie. You know, it's just all so stupid. Anyway.
I got to turn on this monitor because we're going to cover this thing, right?
Yes.
Can I see here what you're showing them?
Yeah, you'll see what you need to see.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So right now you should be seeing this, right?
Yeah. Oh, that's great. Is your cursor going to show for them?
When it needs to.
Because it'd be cool if you could like underline stuff with your cursor, like point to things. I don't know if you want to.
So a couple things. First of all, David, the fucking pictures are coming up with David and this girl, man. This 15-year-old. She was 15.
Oh, David the singer, who was out of town when his car was found with a dismembered body inside. Yes. And it turns out that those remains belonged to a girl he knew and had some relationship with.
And has some form of relationship with.
Very, very bad news for him.
It's just looking so bad. Like, I'm expecting at some point that he's going to turn himself in.
I still want to say that just because you know somebody and just because you're close to them does not mean that you're responsible for their passing. He was out of
absolutely true.
I know. He was out of town when her remains were found. It could mean that he was protecting her when he went out of town. Somebody in their orbit decided to prey on her, and then had access to his car.
Or just somebody trying to get to him for some reason or for whatever reason.
Oh my God, like a mob thing? Like, I'm going to kill the person closest to you?
Yeah, some kind of nefarious.
Frame him?
Like, frame him.
This is what I'm saying. It could be anything, man.
Right now, it looks like David was statutory graping a girl. And so my imagination immediately goes to she was coming out with it, or there was a pregnancy involved, or there was some kind of like, I'm telling my mom.
Statistically, that happens a lot, which is super fucked up.
Like the girl's growing up and she's like, you know what? This is fucked up. You're fucked up.
No, not that. Ooh. But a accidental pregnancy that one person wants to keep, and then a murder happens. Pretty bad.
Feels Bad Man said she was 14 and they started dating when she was around 11 and 12. So if this girl has gotten to the age where she now realizes that she was manipulated into this situation with this guy and she's going to come out about it, or there's a conversation about that, or even like an argument, like, you know what, you fucking blah 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 me and I'm going to tell everyone, like that could do it. I mean, this kid had so much at stake.
Having been a teen that dated older boys, I think that that's probably less likely. If it does have something to do with like if he did it, it could be over a pregnancy. I think the coroner would be able to tell whether that was.
Yeah, well, we haven't heard any word about a pregnancy. No. I don't know if the coroner would be able to tell because I don't know what they have left.
I just don't think I don't think it happens very often that usually when teens are being exploited, they're usually more afraid of their parents and what their parents are going to say and how their parents are going to punish them for how they've been behaving. Even if that's true or not, like that's what's in their head.
Well,
so they tend to protect their abusers because they feel like they're more aligned with their abuser than they are with their safety,
Well, it's a crazy morbid story that we are going to continue to follow because holy fucking shit. Does that say Nick? What does that say?
Nick Carraway's wife.
Oh, Nick Carraway's wife. Hello.
This is great. It's made me quite upset because Don's Plum is one of my favorite performances of him. Oh, Nick Carraway's wife was saying, how can we believe you? Please don't hate me, but Toby is very special to me. Oh. It's made me quite upset because Don's Plum is one of my favorite performances of him.
Oh, well, I hope he will appreciate you saying that. Well, Toby is my absolute nemesis in life. And I find Toby to be quite an awful person, but that's because he was terribly vicious to me and stole from me my dreams and my life. I wrote all about it in the book behind me, though, and if you really love Toby, you might not want to read this one. You might want to sit this book out, because this book is not good to Toby, and it's not because I have some kind of grudge. It's because I told the story of my life as related to the Project Dawn's Plum, and
it might be useful to emphasize that you guys were very close friends before he betrayed you.
Yes, we were.
So you really, really liked Tobey Maguire.
I'd go as far as to say loved him.
Before he put you in a unforgivable position to where all of your friends turned against you because of his lies.
Where he literally destroyed my life, altered its course forever, and absolutely changed the event changed me completely from more or less one day to the next. Like, I was not the same person coming out of it. I lost so much of my love and drive for my creative process. It's so difficult to put into words the damage, but I think think of like a just a scorched forest, or something that was once quite beautiful and then has become terrifyingly ugly for whatever reason, bombs or comets or just somebody throwing a cigarette out there in 1970s Wagoneer. Whatever it might be, think of something of utter destruction, and that was me. I stood in what was just a wasteland of what was my former life.
What's really
and that never ever got better. I've just been trying to grow grass out of it ever since.
What's really remarkable about it is how he managed to succeed. Like, Tobey Maguire was like, I am deliberately going to turn all of our friends against Dale and RD. And I'm going to come up with a story that's negative about them that couldn't possibly be true. And somehow all of the friends are not going to ask a question about it. It's just the weirdest thing. Somehow he succeeded in not only betraying you guys and turning them all against you, but getting their friends who were also involved in the movie to turn their back on their own work, their own best work of their careers, all based on a lie.
What is that when you do that? Like when you're like self-harming, like, because it's like giving the cult member, the cult leader, all your money. Like, it's tantamount to that, right?
Yeah.
Like, these guys literally, like Kevin Connolly and Scott Bloom, along with myself and Artie Robb, had the greatest opportunities of our life right there.
Listen, the only analogy I have for it is Othello. Leo in your friend group is like Othello, and Toby in your friend group is like Iago. And nobody ever knows. Iago never tells why he has decided to turn Othello against everybody, and to turn him against his wife, and to turn his second in command against, or to turn him against his second in command. And like, he's just like paranoid about everybody, and everybody ends up dying in the end. And Iago is like scot-free. Oh, spoilers! Spoilers for Shakespeare.
Come on, man.
But Iago is like
spoiler-free zone here.
But nobody suspects Iago for lying, and all of it is based on his little like needling around and talking little secrets and like pitting people against each other. It's Iago's probably one of Shakespeare's best, weirdest, most horrible villains, because he never explains why he's doing it. He ruins everybody's life.
Well, I have a theory for why Toby did that in my book.
See, you have a theory. He's never said.
No.
He even was deposed in a lawsuit. He was like 3 days of depositions, and he never once said why he did
Toby.
it. Yeah. He had these like really fantastical claims about how you guys, were betraying his friends, but he never articulated what the fuck that meant. He didn't have any evidence.
There's literally there was no betrayal so he had to sort of make up the idea of a betrayal.
Yeah, that you guys had like secret meetings or something. And he never could articulate what happened in the secret meetings that was so bad.
Secret meetings, he clearly wasn't there.
Yeah, he doesn't know what the fuck he's even upset about. But somehow he managed to turn Leo into a rage monster about it, and he's ever since, for the last fucking 30 years, he has not stopped fucking hammering that nail. It's just the weirdest thing that ever happened. And I just feel like, these people are stupid or something. How do you not ask a single question? How do you ruin people's lives without, like, investigating even the littlest bit. It's weird. I don't get it.
So,
Sadists.
you know, I appreciate people coming by and talking about it. It's great. And I will talk about Don's Plum, and I will talk about, you know, Leah and that relationship all day long. Obviously, I really hope people will read the book, not because I want to make money, although it wouldn't hurt to make a little money in my damn life, but I really want people to read the book because I want them to experience, you know, what this is, because this is bigger than me. This is a real problem. What happened here was a really horrible thing, and American art was discarded and trampled on. And we should never allow that. You know, I mean, and this is like, you know, I remember when I wrote the open letter in 2014, I said that I couldn't believe that in this day and age, we have an artist literally suppressing art in America. And I know we've gotten much worse, but at some point we got to fight back. At some point we have to like stand up for the shit that is going wrong. And I desperately want people to stand up with me against Leonardo DiCaprio's decision to destroy this movie. You know, it's not about like hating Toby or hating. I have my own experience with those two men, and I'll never be their friends again, and certainly they'll never be mine.
But here Leo is. He's on the precipice of another fucking massive success.
Yeah.
He has all of the resources anybody could ever need to fix this mistake that he made.
Could have done it.
Right?
Could have done it right after Titanic.
Like
right after
you don't
Titanic.
wish him harm. You wish him continued success so that maybe he recognizes how small that conflict was back then and how insignificant it is anymore. And then he fucking puts the fucking gears into motion to fix it, because if anybody can do it, it's him. He could undo everything. I mean, he can't do the fucking time that was wasted. He can't undo the fact that you lost all of those opportunities that he deliberately fucking tore from you. But like, you know, he could release the film. He could make sure that you get paid. You could have fucking lawyers go and find out, investigators find out who's been stealing from you all this time, like overseas, fucking everywhere.
All he has to do is say, release the movie, and I'll take care of the rest. I don't need his help for anything. All I need that fucking guy is to get his boot off my neck. That's it. Get your boot off my neck. I'll take care of my life. I'll take care of my movie. I know how to do everything. I know who to call. I know how to hire lawyers. I know how to hire accountants. I know how to fucking track money.
I suspect it might be more complicated than that, because
Leonardo DiCaprio's not going to do it for me, and I don't need him to.
No. What I'm saying is,
nor would I trust him to.
Like, who is responsible right now for the theft, the continuing theft? Like,
well, the first thing you do is you get
many people,
the first
right?
thing you do is you corral the property. The first thing, unless you want to create like some kind of investigation, you know, put on your little fucking Inspector Gadget hat and you know, go out and tiptoe in the night, find clues. But what I would like to do, yes, exactly. But like what I want to do is I want to put my movie out. That's what I want to do.
Yeah.
I want Don's Plum to be able to be streamed at whatever service and streaming service that we decide to do a deal with, whether that's Netflix or fucking YouTube, whatever. You know what I'm saying? Toby, it's a long story about Toby, but Toby was the. So Nick is asking about why Toby.
Oh yeah, well, it's in the book.
It's in the book. It's too much. It's too much. I'm almost exhausted trying to even articulate enough for you to, you know, kind of grab a hold of. But let's just say that Leonardo DiCaprio was on board with Don's Plum. Everything was moving perfectly forward. And then one day, in one moment, Tobey Maguire showed up at my door and he knocked on it. And he was angry and he wanted to talk about Don's Plum. And he began spewing spit and vitriol about Don's Plum and how he wanted it to burn. And RD and I, RD being the director, me being the writer-producer, saying, hey, yo, what the fuck, bro? Like, why don't you calm down? I spent, you know, an additional 12, maybe 13, 14 hours, whatever it was, with him overnight, sleep-deprived, trying desperately to calm him down. But instead, all he did was become more and more maniacal over it all. And he set out on a rampage to destroy Don's Plum in a single day. And here we are.
Jeremy Wright said Toby and the almond milk and then made a nauseous face.
Jeremy Wright read my book. No spoilers, Jeremy Wright. Toby and the almond milk is definitely a hard to forget scene. I thought I wrote it almost perfectly as far as when I read that scene, it is my experience as I remember it.
Gross.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. With that, cheers. This is tea.
Shall we segue?
Segue. So here's the thing I wanted to say that I did not get out yet because I keep catching these chats. Look, people are going to come around and talk about this stuff, and I have to give it the attention. So I'm just saying to like all our, like, I don't want to lose like Guilty Angels here. I don't want to lose all of the real ones. You know what I'm saying? Like they've been with us.
Why would you lose them?
Well, I'm just saying I feel bad for them because they come here and we commentate on all of the shit that we all like to talk about. And I know people are going to show up and they're like, you know, people are now it's Leo season and people are going to show up and they're going to want to talk about Dawn's Plum and what happened.
You should have like a running ticker on the bottom that like tells the story and also where to buy your book for the rest of it.
It was a long, long time ago when I first ran into to Jeremy Sisto.
Where can people buy your book?
You can get my book. Well, here's a cool thing about my book. It is available on Kindle Unlimited. And what I was going to say, thank you for reminding me, because what I was going to say is like I want to make this thing accessible, so you can get it you can get it on Kindle Unlimited for free with a membership. They also have very long trials, but the book, I tell you this, go read the reviews. The book reads like lightning, does it not? I'm a dialogue-y kind of guy.
Jeremy Wright said too descriptive, and then nauseous face, and he said that's what I mean when I say he's a good writer. So descriptive it makes you sick.
Yeah.
Seriously, I had to edit that scene, that Toby and the almond milk scene. I had to edit that, and I read it like 20 times, and every single time it did not get easier. I was like squirming.
I'd be sitting in here, and then I would hear you go, "Oh."
From the other room.
From the other room. And I knew exactly what happened. It'd be like, you know, in those like movies where then you just cut to me and I'm grinning. Because I know you just read it.
Horrible.
Well, you know, look, but that scene is important. And the thing about that scene and all the scenes, because I didn't put all the scenes that were like salacious in the book that I experienced with these guys.
No, you left out a lot.
Tons.
We talked about it.
Yeah, I left out tons. And the reason I didn't is because the only things that I put in the book were the things that I felt were what I would say were question marks for me about, you know, their intentions with people and the way they treat people. Like it was just the constant mistreatment of people, and where they would entertain themselves at another's expense, and sometimes in really grotesque ways. Okay, here we go. Let me get to this. Where is this now? You guys are really fun, and yeah, you know, I'll answer all your questions with me. So we've got some things to talk about. We already did the David thing, and I'm just getting your, there it is, thing up, and boom, boom, boom. Let me move this over. So the first thing is, are you confident enough to listen? Is that the first thing?
Yes, this is the first thing. You're in the right spot. So I had been on I'd been on social media. People can see the background of your screen. Is that okay? It's like faded. Fine. You don't have any like porn or nudes or anything back there?
No.
You don't want to see people see your nudes?
No. Why would I want my nude? No, I don't have nudes.
Okay.
You're gonna create bad rumors during a very sensitive time.
What? A person's allowed to have nudes. If they want.
Yeah, I know, but I don't have any. Come on, I'm not hot enough for that shit. Let's go.
So many times here on this live and also on social media, like I feel like I'm always like whack-a-moling these people when they are making claims that are refuted by the evidence that Baldoni's own team has put forward. So they are arguing for Baldoni and contradicting the evidence he has provided. So I kind of just like compiled a bunch of ways, and I made them chronological. These are all, I like excluded Lively's narrative about it to explain why they're lies, and I stuck only with Baldoni's own claims.
Great. So this is the first one. So we have a bunch of them to get through. So we're going to rip through these. I'm going to commentate.
I'm just going to let Baldoni tell the story, okay?
Yeah.
So here's this. This is just this. I just had this as like
before we set this up. This first one. Let me set this up a little bit because I have something to say about it. Before.
Yeah, great. That's great.
So this first one. This is the one that is obviously related to his TED Talk.
Yeah.
His TED Talk came after whatever. I guess I don't know exactly how the TED Talk itself was born, but his fame had grown around women at this point because he had this CW series that he was the hunka on, right? Mm-hmm. So he had a really strong female following at this point, and then he did this talk, which I guess it blew up. It did over 50 million views.
Yeah, TED Talk.
It was a TED Talk that did over 50 million views and was the predecessor to his podcast, Man Enough.
Yeah, he was talking about the Me Too movement And then he sort of began the brand of Man Enough. That was the title. Is like main tagline of the TED Talk.
So let me transition this in so that people can see what we're talking about. Here we go.
Transition?
Yeah. I'm just giving them the... Okay, so now they have the slide. Continue.
Oh, really?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, they have the slide.
Oh, I didn't know. I can't see that. Okay, great. Cool.
You're not supposed to be talking behind the curtain like this.
Okay, well, I don't know how it's going on your side.
We're a show now.
Okay, I know, but your computers are all facing... The back of them is to me, so I don't know
what's going on. You don't have it on your screen.
I can see it, but I saw it when you first put it up here, so I don't know if you've got...
All right, so moving on.
Okay, so the very first thing that I wanted to talk about, which is a claim by Baldoni that was proven to be a falsehood, was that Lively... Everybody on pro-Baldoni content creators are saying that Lively was only an actor. And that she didn't have the right to do any of the things that she was doing, okay? And so I wanted to just remind people that she spoke about this in the Forbes interview. Is that up?
Yeah.
Okay. She spoke about this in the Forbes interview where she was talking about how she used to try and work her way up after she gets brought on as an actor, but that's how she used to do it, and it wasn't really very effective. And so now what she does is she's totally forthright. And this Forbes interview was in December 2022, where she talks about, here she says, about what I need and representing that from the outset. So she's very clear that now she's changed her ways. And what she does is when she wants to be a producer on a project, she starts out being like, hey, you want to hire me as an actor, but I want to be a producer on a project. So you can go to the next one. This is Baldoni's own evidence, where he himself, this is his lawyer, explaining how Lively in the first meeting, right after that Forbes interview that everybody's quoting.
Let me just read it. On or about December 31st, 2022, Lively agreed to take the lead role of Lily Bloom, which, by the way, what a big fucking day for this guy.
Yeah.
And you remember the text where he's like, Blake Lively looks like she's going to do it. I'm flying to New York to meet with her. Mm-hmm. Like, dude, like you stop the world when somebody of her caliber is interested in doing your fucking movie or whatever project you're on. Huge moment for them. As a part of the subsequent negotiations, Lively was granted an executive producer credit, a title often given to talent of her stature. And here's what's really important here. She has a conversation clearly with Justin Baldoni about how she does not want a vanity credit. She does not, and that's really what we're talking about here.
Yep.
That's a credit that's given to an actor that's a pacifying credit. It's just meant to pacify them and their want or their need to be able to progress in the hierarchy of film, in the above the line, sort of into producer, director, writer roles, right? And those are the coveted roles in Hollywood. Like, people love the movie stars in Hollywood. They love the directors and the writers and the producers because we're the ones that actually make the shit. Everybody else is just, our toys, the things we use to make the shit. Mm-hmm. And so actors, I think they feel a little used. I do. I'm not even kidding because, movies are something to fall in love with when you're making them. And, actors get dismissed. We all clap. It's a wrap. Say goodbye, Blake Lively. And then she goes away. And then the rest of the filmmakers, they stay on the project for another year, right? And they get to build all that beautiful artistry in post. And fucking actors want it. They crave it. And to pacify them, producers give actors who they don't want nosing around executive producer credits. And Blake Lively talked to Justin Baldoni about this. We know this because Justin Baldoni really talked about emboldening her in that really beautiful soliloquy of a message that he left at 2:00 in the morning on one of the messenger apps that they use. So she was granted an executive producer credit, and that would have fallen in that area of the credit she did not want to have.
Specifically, you're talking about how Justin Baldoni said, "I want all of you." Right? Yes. And if you're assuming that he's not talking about that in a pervert sense, that he's not talking about her physically.
From a non-sexual standpoint.
Yes. Yeah. If you're assuming that he doesn't mean that, then the only other meaning, since they're in pre-production, they are close collaborators. They're fucking playing jazz. Correct. These guys are totally cool with each other. Everything is fine. They're collaborating constantly. We see all these text messages. So when he says that he's grateful for her collaboration...
As you'd expect, by the way. Yeah, yes, of course.
When he says he's grateful for her collaboration, and in that voice note he says, "I want all of you," he's reassuring her that her producing, her notes, her creative input is being considered, that she does have a seat at that table. And here it is, in that very first meeting that they had, Lively requested a producer credit.
Correct. Now this is obviously super fucking important because not you know, and what I get worried about is that people go, yeah, but they demurred. Now, first of all, we know, as it says here, Lively had requested a producer credit, but Wayfarer and Sony demurred, and there's some really important things there. So, it means Sony is on side with Wayfarer. They're not on Blake Lively's side.
That's right.
They're on Wayfarer's side at the beginning of this production, and my guess, and I think it's a reasonable guess, considering what happens later, was that they demurred Sony because Wayfarer demurred. My guess is, and I think it's a very good guess, is that if Wayfarer said, and we'd like her to be producer, that Sony would have been happy to go with that. There would be no reason for them not to. They were the distribution company after all. So my guess is that Sony simply sided with their partner, with whom they are, in whom they're invested.
Yep.
And that's a big important point. But the next very important point here is that this lies a foundation for her intent. This makes it known in that moment that her intent is to take that producer credit that she does have, the executive producer credit, and apply it functionally. And just so people get a basic idea, executive producers, while they are normally, while they can be things like vanity credits, they can also be credits from studio heads. For example, Harvey Weinstein of Miramax was often credited as an executive producer in most projects. He occasionally did get producer credit when he was like literally like, you know, sleeves up and going through the whole process. But executive producers can and often do perform similarly to regular producers.
Yes.
The big difference would be that executive producers are not within the industry or otherwise really recognized for those kinds of roles. So when someone says executive producer, you know, Blake Lively, you know, to the masses, nobody gives a shit. But to Hollywood, everyone would be like, whatever. They'd be an eye roll. As opposed to Blake Lively, producer PGA, that means that she's hitting a certain standard of producing requirements that are artful, that have authorship, as she likes to put it, right? And so then that's why that credit is more esteemed.
And she probably brought that up in the first meeting. You know, she loves that word. She probably was like, I just want more authorship. She probably spoke exactly like she did in that Forbes interview, where she was like, I want more involvement. I want creative input. I will ask for that up front. Here it is. This is Wayfarer's own lawsuit saying
this is all very standard,
that she
by
did
the way.
this.
This is all very standard.
Also, it says producer wouldn't reflect the role she was asked to play in the production, and Wayfarer did not request nor require that Lively contribute to the film in any capacity beyond her role, the role of actor and executive producer. Yeah, on December 31st, 2022, that's how they felt. Obviously, things changed. Okay, so we're going to go through more of that, where this is going to be relevant later.
Well, but like that statement, if you look at that statement, let's look at that statement for a moment, because it's a really shallow statement. Wayfarer did not request nor require. Okay, so, but that didn't mean that, but there's nothing there saying Wayfarer explicitly asked Miss Lively to keep her creative contributions to herself outside the capacity or beyond her role as an actor. That's all it's saying, is that they didn't request nor require. Well, nobody would fucking require it unless you were hired specifically for that.
Right. And
so
paragraph
absurd.
28 right here says that in the beginning, Baldoni and Lively have a positive collaborative creative partnership. So, you know, is that really exclusively?
So which is it? Which is it?
Is that really exclusively as her role as an actor, or is she helping him craft the film that they both want to see on the screen?
Well,
you know?
and actually this does demonstrate exactly what I'm saying. Because just because there was no requirement and there was or no request doesn't mean that it didn't happen, or that it wouldn't happen, or that it couldn't happen.
It's also another thing that he says later when he's promoting the film closer to the premiere. He talks about how her creative contributions really helped him direct, that she really took over a lot, and he was really grateful for that. So I don't know what you call that what you call that role in a film.
Right.
But everybody seemed to be fine with the way that she was working out until this lawsuit happened.
So just to a quick summary on this is that Blake Lively indeed asked for a producer credit from the beginning.
Yep.
She laid her intentions out there for this.
She was upfront, forthright, transparent, all the things.
And by the way, she was also upfront and transparent with people whom she had to believe would be supportive in some way, given that they were man enough, that they were this organization dedicated to the deconstruction of toxic masculinity, the education of men and toxic masculinity, and of course the elevation of women, particularly in roles dominated by men. And producing is a male-dominated profession in Hollywood, 100%.
Okay, the next thing that I want to talk about is
this the next slide?
The next one. There's a few things I want to show about this. This is the dragons allegation. Okay, this is from Baldoni's own lawsuit. Okay.
Yes.
He is quoting Blake Lively's text. He is saying that her mentioning her friends and describing them as dragons was a threat. Okay, the way that he phrases it, he said that her dragons, two of the most influential and wealthy celebrities in the world, who were not afraid to make things very difficult for him. Okay, you can see that footnote, that 8. That just means all that's referring to is the timestamp on these next text messages. So just very specifically, he's saying that he is perceiving her description of her famous, super connected heavyweights in the industry as a threat. Okay, that's in the narrative. Let's see whether this is panned out with his actual evidence. Okay, so you can go to the next one.
Well, and you know, obviously her fucking dragons, that was an offering.
Yeah, well, we'll see. Check it out. So he adds all of these texts. Okay, this specifically is this is from his timeline document. So what he says at the top, this is April 14th. So this is in pre-production. They haven't started filming yet. May is the first month of filming. He said, Baldoni and Lively text about script changes and enhancing dialogue for the role of Lily Bloom's mother. You don't have to zoom in. We could just have it all on the screen because I'm reading from the very top. Okay?
Okay.
Baldoni conveys he's happy for Lively to share her notes, but ultimately wants to run any changes by the scriptwriter out of respect. Lively agrees. In the wake of the meeting 2 days earlier, in the presence of Reynolds and their mega celebrity friend, who Lively describes as her dragons, in a lengthy text to follow, Baldoni feels obliged to text Lively saying that he liked her pages and hadn't needed Reynolds and her mega celebrity friend to pressure him. He won't name her, but that's Taylor Swift. Baldoni acknowledges Lively's text about her dragons.
No, it's not.
And,
it's Hillary Duff.
And apologizes for not responding right away. However, he promises to send her more thoughtful voice note later, and that's where the voice note comes in too. Okay, April 14th, below this, it says Baldoni followed up with a voice note responding to her text about her dragons. So they're obsessed with this dragons thing. And I was like, okay. And the content creators have fucking run with this. They are calling her Khaleesi. They are talking about how the dragons was a threat. First of all, like, I would love for anybody to explain to a jury how dragons, a mythical beast that nobody thinks exists on this planet, could ever be perceived as a credible threat to Baldoni. Why he would why $400 million is the damages that he believes he's entitled because he got threatened with dragons. So that's just absurd. But let me just, in the next slide, I don't even know if there's slides. This is the part where she talks about dragons. It's only at the very end of her message, okay?
Yeah.
She said, if you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, this is at the conclusion of this big block of text. Did you want to go to the next one?
Yes.
She said, if you ever get around to watching Game of Thrones, you'll appreciate that I'm Khaleesi, and like her, I happen to have a few dragons, for better or worse, but usually for better, because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you.
Come on, man. Holy
this
fucking...
is Baldoni's...
In a fucking... She's handing Ryan Reynolds and Taylor Swift to this guy who literally has one big success under his belt.
She is like, I recognize that Justin Baldoni is a very eager, very sensitive career guy. And I don't know why, but I'm feeling like there's tension between us because there's some things I'm asking for and some things he's holding back on. But Baldoni's talking to all of his friends behind the scenes about how he's pissed off at Blake Lively already, but she doesn't know. She's not talking to her that way, okay? But what she is doing is she's saying, I have a network of people. I have major heavyweights in the industry. And if we work well together, I will make sure that my network is open to you. She is offering him her dragons as... as an asset for him, a connection. These people are helpful. She says, but my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too, I can promise you. And I don't know why nobody has recognized that this is also in evidence.
It's interesting because I just saw Cosmic Urgencies. He just has a text or whatever just popped in It's actually, I can only see one comment right now, and it's his. And it says, because of my software, it says, I mean, I can understand being intimidated by the Swift Reynolds pressure and viewing it as threatening. I think why you're getting why we're hearing this language is that he's already expressed some kind of an intimidation over it to her.
Dude.
Because he's sitting there,
False. Look at what he says right after.
No, not right after. Forget about that.
No, I know, but right after she says, and you will too, I can promise you, benefit from these dragons. He goes, hi, wow. Thank you for writing this. I have so much to say. I'm so sorry for the slow response. I gave a talk tonight to a bunch of Baha'i youth in the city, and your message came through while I was there and haven't had a second to respond. Going to send you a voice note. And that is that's where the voice note comes from, where he's just like, everything's cool with him, dude. He's fine. Everything's fine. He doesn't feel fucking threatened. Well, he's actually reassuring her on that voice note.
I don't think I agree with you that he doesn't feel threatened. I'll say that I agree with Cosmic Urgency that he can feel threatened, that there can be like an idea of threat there, I suppose, or intimidation, I should say, not a threat. There can be intimidation involved, of course. I mean,
okay, so you're
I've been
intimidated.
in the room with big, giant, like, fucking personalities.
Yeah, so there's nothing new, but that's not Blake Lively's fault.
Yeah,
it's not Blake Lively's fault if he feels intimidated by big heavyweights in the industry.
It doesn't make her threatening with them. No. And people, we're going to fetch her dogs after people when she says, what did she say? Protect?
It's just such projection too, because look at what he did to her with his publicist. He's got fucking dragons.
Did they say protect? Did he say protect? Or did she say protect? I'm sorry.
Yes, she says,
they'll protect me.
They protect those I fight for. Because my dragons also protect those I fight for. So really, we all benefit from those gorgeous monsters of mine.
That's why it's intimidating, right? Because that language is, what is that language for?
She said, and you will too, I can promise you. I'm sorry, you got to be real fucking paranoid to view yourself out of that circle of protection when she is saying you're in.
I don't think you should.
What is this guy's problem?
I don't think you should have been paranoid at all. I don't know what there's to be paranoid about at this stage in the production. What the fuck is he worried about? He owns the fucking movie.
They haven't even started filming yet,
and it's not like he doesn't understand how. Like I don't think he understood what he had.
My next point about this.
Yeah.
This is before they started filming. We are going to talk next about how many times he completely dismissed her complaints of SH in the workplace. Yeah. Okay. If he was threatened by this text or anything that she was doing, don't you believe that he would act a little more cautiously so that she didn't sick her dragons on him if that's what he's paranoid about?
Maybe.
His behavior does not align with the story of him being intimidated or threatened or any of these things.
People panic. People, so they react differently. It's too difficult to try and create this like, oh, he would have behaved in a specific way. What I will say, though, is that if he's going to play in the fucking big leagues, this is the big leagues.
He also was the first person ever in any of the context of anybody to say, I'm ready to fight, because he thought that she was going to go public with her complaints.
Absolutely.
And so if he's really afraid of these huge dragons of hers, don't you think that he would behave differently in that situation? I don't know. Okay. Anyway, this to me is his evidence refuting his claims that she made any threat. I don't see a threat here. I don't see anything that is
there's no threat.
Specifically,
No.
Okay, he wants to say she implied a threat. Like, can you be more specific? The jury needs to know what you really mean.
No, there's no threat there, and you're not going to find one.
Okay.
And without a threat, but it's going to be up to her, her representation to be able to tell to be able to demonstrate that that what she does have there is not a threat. Because can it be perceived as a threat by people who are unwittingly, like, in terms of it being characterized as one?
Yeah.
Can it be characterized as a threat? It can. It can, because because there's a certain potential for an implied threat.
I don't believe you, because you wouldn't be threatening and saying we all benefit from these gorgeous monsters of mine. You will too. I can promise you.
No, that is the classic shakedown. Hey, we'll all benefit from this.
You'll benefit too. I can promise you.
Yes.
I'm sorry. If you think that that's a threat, you're paranoid. You're reading into things that didn't happen.
I think that
that's not Blake Lively's fault.
I think that for you to be looking into that as some kind of threat, then you have to either be paranoid or there has to be some precedent for it. Like something had to have happened.
This more than anything reminds me of how the entire introduction in Baldoni's memoir is about how he repeatedly talks about how he feels like he's under attack. He feels like his whole life he's had to wear a suit of armor to shield himself from the attacks, and the whole scenario makes him super uncomfortable. And he never once articulates specifically what he feels like he's being attacked by. It's just a general feeling of being under attack. And I was like, okay, well, cool. I mean, if you're a hammer, everything's a nail, I guess. Like, because what is this? You're threatened by fucking dragons when she says they're going to help you? Like, I guess nobody can help you, dude. Like, I guess nobody can make you feel better about feeling threatened all the time. Psycho. Anyway, okay. Yeah. So the next one.
Well, do you want to do some chat in between? Because you have a lot. Or do you
I have a lot,
keep rolling?
That's why I was going to keep rolling.
Just keep rolling without chat? Because then you got to go all the way back.
Okay.
So let's do a little chat. And if there's not a lot going on in chat, then we'll keep going. And it's okay if people are asking me about normal shit as well. But do you want to do that? Is that cool?
I just want to keep going. But if you think we should talk to people now,
right,
we can
stop.
Keep going, then. Do you want to stop?
Let's just keep going, Angela.
I'll get to everybody's chat in a second.
Okay. What's next? Wardrobe.
This is the wardrobe allegation. Okay?
Yeah.
Justin Baldoni is just, he has decided that this is the beginning of Blake Lively asserting control. Okay? This is what he says about it. Almost immediately, Lively begins inserting herself into the production process in intrusive ways well beyond the scope of her contractual entitlements. For example, Lively began to insist on creative control over her character's wardrobe. While lead actors are sometimes granted approval over their character's general look, they generally do not receive full control over wardrobe decisions without input. Skipping, okay.
Did he just say without input?
Without input from the directors or
you're
producers.
Just skipping, but don't skip, because that whole fucking sentence is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard in my life.
They generally do not receive full control over wardrobe decisions.
So they have some control.
Without,
do they have some control? Do they have some fucking control? Do you see how he just loses his own case when he opens his fucking mouth? What's next?
Without input from directors or producers.
So who
she's
said
a producer,
she wasn't? If she's a producer, but who said she wasn't getting input? She's not sitting there fucking making decisions on her own. She's making the final decisions on her wardrobe because she's a big fucking giant star in a contemporary film. She's gonna do that. That doesn't mean she's not gonna make decisions working in concert with the director, the art director, the wardrobe department itself, be there a designer or just wardrobe and purchasing and whatnot. But that whole sentence is just full of it has nothing of substance. It offers nothing of substance.
And look at how he refutes it in this very next sentence. Yeah. Okay, see if you can find it, where he does admit that she was coordinating and collaborating. Okay, ignoring the director's vision for her character and disposing of weeks of effort and creativity spent by the wardrobe team on shopping and carefully crafting her wardrobe, Lively sent hundreds of images to the film's costume designer, including into the late hours of the evening, depicting the style of wardrobe.
She was collaborating with the costume designer who
apparently wasn't telling the director about it.
No, they were.
I know.
They fucking were.
I know they were.
That's exactly she's in the right fucking chain. She doesn't need to go directly to Baldoni. First of all, what micro fucking managing? Is that what these guys are doing? Because why wouldn't she be working with wardrobe and then wardrobe be working with the director?
Yeah, so check this out. So the costume designer, this is according to Baldoni, the costume designer had to reshop Lively's wardrobe. Okay, so the costume designer did it, you're saying? Is the costume designer getting sued for $400 million?
Well, it sounds to me like the costume designer and Justin Baldoni were the ones who shopped the initial wardrobe. It sounds to me like they came to Blake Lively with a bunch of fucking clothes, not consulting with her on her postpartum body, not consulting with her on how she's feeling at all.
Right.
Because if they had, she wouldn't have been rejecting these clothes.
You're right.
So it sounds like they made autonomous decisions about it when this, just in the paragraph before, they basically laid the foundation for it's customary for big stars to participate in this process. Because if she was participating, then they wouldn't have bought that wardrobe in the first place. I think that's fair to assume.
Yeah. The costume designer had to reshop Lively's wardrobe, far exceeding the allocated budget and diverting time and resources while also preparing wardrobes for the rest of the cast.
So fuck all that. Like, I mean, it is. It's hard work. I mean, that's why you do it. I mean, film is definitely like you wake up in the morning, you go to bed at night, and you work.
This is
all
why
day.
a lot of producers and productions don't get a star, because they want to have control over what they wear.
Wardrobe. Well, that's not even. Well, definitely that's not entirely true. But yeah, I mean, in part. Look, dude. Wardrobe is. This is beyond ridiculous in terms of sort of nitpicking at things that might try to build some like sort of shady character. The fact that she wants involvement in her wardrobe in a contemporary film after just finishing a 9-month pregnancy and having a child is patently absurd. The idea that the wardrobe department had to reorder the entire wardrobe shows you just how of a small problem it actually was. And the only evidence that we've been shown thus far on this is a text from the line producer saying, dude, I got to go and I got to buy this fucking wardrobe, charge the card.
Yeah.
Like, and that's it.
That's next, but let me just see what the rest of what Baldoni is alleging says. Lively often refused to participate in wardrobe fittings at the production office, which was a mere 15 minutes from Lively's home. Okay. Keep that in mind.
Just telling yourself.
So if the production office was a mere 15 minutes away from Lively's home, why is it an issue?
They described it.
Why is it an issue for the wardrobe to be sent to Lively's home if it was a mere 15 minutes away from the production office?
Correct.
Instead, she insisted that the costume department pack up wardrobe and deliver it to her personal residence. Loading the wardrobe department on trucks and delivering the contents to Lively's home in the middle of congested Manhattan for fittings costs time and money, always in short supply in any major film. It's probably all on a truck anyway. She's talking about how she's in wardrobe and how she's in makeup. Doesn't it just exist on a truck? Isn't it just a trailer that they take to?
Yeah, I mean, it can be. It depends. Sometimes it's in the PO. I mean, it depends on how big the wardrobe is and how big the truck is, and
Yeah, you're right. Okay. Requests of this nature are typically made during contract negotiations. Is that true?
Well, typically, I guess.
Since
maybe it's not entirely typical to negotiate these situations under these situations, but it's not unheard of. It's just typically. Like, even if you want to believe what they're saying, I'm saying.
So the added expense of packing and delivering was not included in the budget. And
yes, it was.
And that's apparently her fault.
Yes,
okay.
It was. It was included in the budget because that's what they have contingencies for.
I also don't understand why the actor, if you're saying she's just an actor, why should she be concerned about the budget? Isn't that a production issue? I don't know.
Well, it is their issue, but that doesn't mean, look. As far as the budget goes, it was in the budget.
No, I mean to have fittings at her house. If her house is a mere 15 minutes away from the production office, and she's like, okay, well, can I just have it fittings at my house since I'm postpartum? I have an infant to take care of. It would be really cool if I had privacy. Like, it seems like an accommodation somebody should make for their lead. I don't know, to make her comfortable.
It's a super easy decision to make. You would pack up that wardrobe in a minute, and you would get it to your star's house in a fucking minute. Unless your production was just so down to the wire that you couldn't possibly. Okay. It would only be a time issue. It would not be an expense issue. There is no, and the idea that they're like, oh, and then they had to make the workers work. What? What are you talking about? Hey, in this job, you got to pack up the trailer and you got to take it to Blake Lively's. That's how this goes. Wardrobe's moved before. They do company moves all the fucking time. There is no fucking problem here. There is no problem here except to be an asshole to somebody who needed things to go a certain way. And by the way, let's remember that this is also during a moment where she's already got problems with them. She's postpartum.
Yeah.
The wardrobe's already a mess, right? And she wants some fucking privacy because she can't even trust that she's going to get it on the set in the first place. So she wants some comfort. Because it's 15 minutes away.
It was not much longer after this that Jamie Heath looks directly at her naked in a makeup trailer, and so
after this,
it might have been that she wanted some privacy because she didn't feel like she was entirely, whatever reason. I don't care. Yeah. Here's the thing. Here's the first contradiction that you can see about this. Not the first, because you've already pointed out others, but in the paragraph 34, this is a very stark contradiction to me. Okay. In an effort to maintain harmony at the start of their working relationship.
Am I still on the same slide?
Yes.
Because I can't really read it.
That's okay. I'm reading it. Listen.
Okay. I'm listening.
Paragraph 34. In an effort to maintain harmony at the start of their working relationship. That's not the right slide.
Oh, I was on the right side?
You were on. Yeah, that's the correct one.
Okay.
Okay, let me read this. Paragraph 34. In an effort to maintain harmony at the start of their working relationship and to avoid further delays caused by the wardrobe conflicts, Baldoni and the studio reluctantly ceded full control to Lively over her wardrobe. This concession quickly proved regrettable. What are you suing her for? What is this claim? You ceded full control to Lively over her wardrobe.
We gave her cake and then she ate it.
Can you believe it?
It's the stupidest
thing
I've ever heard.
She asked for cake. We gave her cake, and we're going to resent her for it and sue her for it.
She ate the cake, that ungrateful, that ingrate of a human being, that utterly
Guys, why is this
divisive. She asked for cake, we gave her cake, and then she ate the cake.
Also, they're talking about wardrobe conflicts. There have not been any conflicts about it. Like, I don't know what you... Here's the thing. There is no evidence. All of this is just a story, and they have not provided any evidence of text messages going back where there is any conflict about this wardrobe issue. What we have, you can go ahead to the next slide, because what we do have, the only evidence that Justin Baldoni has provided about this whole wardrobe issue, which is just seems like super weird. This is from his timeline, and this is from a line producer on the film who he characterizes this as shares concerns about the ballooning wardrobe budget resulting from Lively's takeover, which is just fucking hyperbole. That is not, there's nothing in this text about that. Stating it was way more than she had ever seen wardrobe go over budget with the initial spend. As mentioned in the complaint, the wardrobe budget ballooned. Okay, this is what the line producer sent. Subject line. It ends with us, wardrobe spend, FYI. Hey all.
What does FYI stand for?
For your information.
So it's not for asking for permission. We got a great big problem. It's not 911.
Yeah, it's not emergency. Nope.
It's FYI. I got some info I got to drop on you, by the way.
They have redacted the name of the line producer, but we know it's from them because they've labeled it. Hi all. Wardrobe budget for spending is $185,000. Normally wardrobe overspends and then does tons of returns and ends up in budget. Our wardrobe team told me they'd spent about $500K, but then land back at $185K once returns are done. Okay, where's the issue? They're saying the budget is $185K. They've overspent, but they're going to do returns, and so they anticipate. This line producer anticipates they're going to be within that budget, $185 at that budget. To date, they've already spent $615K, and they need their cash cards all replenished because they've only shopped for Justin and Blake. No mention about how the wardrobe ballooning is also Justin Baldoni's wardrobe. That wouldn't fit the narrative, right? They had to reshop everything for Blake after creative changes, but it's a lot of money. I trust them, of course, but want to keep you all posted, as this is way more than I've ever seen wardrobe go over budget with the initial spend. At this point, we have to replenish their cards because they haven't shopped for the other characters. Just keeping you all posted.
Yeah. So, look, it's not a big deal. Obviously, the line producer is saying, look, we're over and it's going to be expensive. And this is why. It is because there are two principals that they're shopping for, which is Justin and Blake Lively. By the way, if you believe the rumors, Justin Baldoni has his own very highfalutin taste. There's no emergency here. There's no fucking big giants. Look, he just talked about 185. He's like, and that 500,000 lands them at 185 spend. Their budget at 185. By the way, this is standard. You overbuy, and then you do your returns. We did it on our little Christian movie. You do it every production that has a reasonable budget where you're going to have a wardrobe. You buy the wardrobe, you return the wardrobe, and the non-returnables are what your actual are supposed to fit within what you had on the line, right? Mm-hmm. For budget for a wardrobe. So if you actually do some of the math here, to date they've already spent $615,000. They've spent that only on those two main principal actors. Most of the rest of the budget is going to be small relative to the two major roles, and of course the lead being Blake Lively, and her character certainly being the most expensive. She's the lead, and she's also like a fashionista, So you're gonna spend the money on that character more than you would any other in the movie. So if you do some quick budget, you go, well, if $615,000 now, if their entire budget was 185, so their entire budget was $500,000, let's just, for the sake of this conversation, say they double the budget. They double it. They spend $1 million out of pocket. Mm-hmm. And they end up with a $270,000 budget versus the 185 originally on the line, right? So now I'm saying, this is how much I'm giving them. I'm saying double the budget. You've doubled it. We don't know if that's what happened. We can't see the actual budget, but we're going to say, hey, you double the budget. That's $185,000 over budget after returns, correct? Film has a built-in contingency. They all do. It typically ranges between 3 and 5% of the gross budget of the movie. We know the budget was $26 million. So we know that the range in the contingency is going to be from, high 100,000, so whatever, 700 and change thousand, to $1.3 million. It's almost certainly going to be on the more of the $1.2 million range in contingency when you have a big giant star. And maybe they don't know this, but I would certainly ask my budget to have a full 5% in contingency because we have a movie star.
Yeah.
They're a pain in the ass. So, like a big giant movie star. So, take $185,000 out of the contingency budget, and that's how much they, it's bullshit, dude. This should just be coming out of a contingency. And if they didn't have a contingency, then what the fuck are they doing? This
is literally the only piece of evidence that Justin Baldoni provides to support that entire narrative. That entire narrative literally could be made up. He could just be inventing it. We don't know because we can't see any text messages with any other people in the production, including Blake Lively, about any conflict, about any disagreements, about anybody being put out or, he.
And there's he also Blake Lively is demanding this or demanding that.
He's also not providing any evidence of him contacting Blake Lively about her wardrobe and whether he wants to discuss it with her as a director. There's nothing in there. We don't even know what this is. All that he's provided is this from the line producer, and the only thing the line producer is asking for is for them to re-up the cards. This is not the fucking devastating scandal that they're talking about.
If this turns into a big giant problem, if this is a big giant problem, it's a couple $100,000 problem in the end. It's a couple $100,000 problem. I'm talking even with the out-of-pocket. Now, I'm not talking about after returns because, you still got to be out of pocket when you're on the returns. But even with the out-of-pocket, because if you're out of pocket, if you're doubling up on out of pocket, you're out of pocket $500,000. If they did their job and they put a 5% contingency in there, they still have $700,000 or $800,000 in the contingency after the out of pockets. That's not including the returns.
Here's my main thing about this.
And the returns and all that usually go into a line of credit so that that money is easily accounted for after the budget. So it's not even thoughtful money really, except for the fact that of course you need to stay within its confines, which would be $1 million too.
My main thing about this is none of this complaint is Lively's fault. Who is buying the wardrobe? Who is responsible for paying for the wardrobe? Who is in control of this department? It's all the production. She's not in control of the cards. She's not in control of how the cards are spent.
Nope.
She's offering ideas to people in that department. That department has a obligation to discuss it with the producers. The producers are deciding. This line producer is reporting back. None of that is Lively's. I don't know how they could blame her for these things.
Yeah, the other funny thing is that they said,
if they didn't like it, they should have refused it at the time. They didn't.
What they said was that this is stuff that was normally negotiated at the time of your contract or whatever. Okay, well then why don't you just say, well, sorry, it's not in your contract. If that's the case, then just say, well, it's not. Sorry, it's not in the contract. It's not in the budget.
Exactly.
Just say fucking no.
Yeah.
Just say no. No. It's a fucking word. We use it all the time.
You're only 15 minutes away from the production office. You're going to come and change and try on your wardrobe here.
But the reason why they're not saying no is because it's not a big deal.
It's not a big deal.
No, it might be a pain in the ass. It might add money here and add inconvenience there. So it might require a certain amount of adjustment. But the reason why they didn't say no is because it's not that big of a fucking deal.
And this is the truth. This is the truth that they put in paragraph 34 of his lawsuit.
Is this a slide that I should be going to?
No, just stay right here.
I will.
In an effort to maintain harmony at the start of their working relationship and to avoid further delays caused by the wardrobe conflicts, Baldoni and the studio reluctantly ceded full control to Lively over her wardrobe.
Reluctantly ceded.
Come on. This is okay. So she's not responsible for these
decisions.
Can you
imagine trying to hold somebody responsible for your decision?
Yeah, I know.
I said yes, and you're to blame.
Okay. Let's move on. The next one is this is the fourth thing in that I chose today. There's
really
so many
can't
more.
See these, just so you know.
No, I know. I'm going to read them.
Okay.
Okay. This is Justin Baldoni's characterization of how Blake Lively refused to meet with an intimacy coordinator. Okay? And this is directly refuted by his own evidence. So here's how he says it. He says, this is paragraph 85 in his complaint. Contrary to Lively knowingly false claims, it was Lively who refused to meet with the intimacy coordinator to plan out their scenes, putting Baldoni in the awkward position of meeting alone with the intimacy coordinator and later relaying sex scene suggestions and plans to Lively in the intimacy coordinator's absence. These meetings often took place at Lively's insistence in the couple's home, and often while Lively's husband was present. Lively's method of work was unconventional and uncomfortable for Baldoni. To suggest Baldoni was the one who created the scenario is knowingly false. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Let's take a closer look at this. So here he is. He's saying that Lively refused to meet with the intimacy coordinator. This is not true.
So let me tune in a little bit. So Justin writes, just hired an intimacy coordinator who I love. Will set you up to meet FT, what does that mean? With her next week for intro. Blake liked
this is again in April 5th. They aren't shooting yet. The first month of filming is May.
Blake liked what he said, and then she said, I feel good. I can meet her when we start. Thank you, though. And that's because there's no fucking reason for her to meet unless she thinks that she's not going to like the person. But an intimacy coordinator isn't somebody she's intimate with. It's just somebody that coordinates the intimacy scenes with the actors and with the director or as a mediator. So she doesn't really give a shit. Why would she fucking want to meet that beforehand?
Can
Absolutely
anybody
stay the fuck out of my house? I'm busy.
Is anybody able to point to the place where she refuses?
I got kids everywhere. I'm busy. I don't need it. She doesn't refuse. She doesn't refuse. She asks to just do it when it's more appropriate.
It's an invitation. She's like, I'm going to decline and postpone because I'll meet her on set where we're actually working together.
So by the way, he liked that.
He liked that. Okay.
So he knew and understood. He knew and understood her position on that, which was, I don't need to meet beforehand because, by the way, there's just no point. They're not rehearsing.
So check this out. So then he sends this screenshot.
Am I changing the slides?
No. He sends this screenshot to a producer who he has declined to identify. Okay. But so he sends that screenshot and he sends this to them about her saying, just wanted to tell you about this. Seems she doesn't want to meet intimacy coordinator until we start. Until we start. He's saying it. Until we start, which may mess up the workflow, but I can still meet with her, of course.
It doesn't mess up any workflow. It's fucking talking so much stupidity.
I know. And the producer said, that's fine if she doesn't want to meet her now. We'll just have to walk her through what you and Redacted are thinking.
Which is, by the way, the totally antithetical. I mean, it's so
Where
ridiculous.
is the refusal? This is what I'm saying.
There's no refusal.
She did not refuse to meet with the
And that's exactly how it would go. You would show up on the set and then they would be like, okay, we were thinking we'd do this and we do that. And then she'd be like objecting or adding or whatever.
Okay. This is the only time that I want to show you guys. The next slide is this is Blake Lively's characterization.
Am I going to the next slide?
Yes.
Thank you.
So this is Blake Lively's characterization of what happened. Miss Lively complained, this is paragraph 84 in her amended complaint. Miss Lively complained about inappropriate behavior as early as May 2023, which occurred without an intimacy coordinator present and was ultimately led to Wayfair and Sony agreeing with Miss Lively that the consistent presence of an intimacy coordinator was not only reasonable but essential. Contrary to defendants' assertions elsewhere, Miss Lively did not refuse to meet with the film's intimacy coordinator. She said she did not need to meet with her before production started because there were no intimate scenes in the immediate future, so they could talk once production began. Miss Lively did have a call with the intimacy coordinator during preparations. Those conversations happened close in time to the filming of the relevant scenes. Elsewhere, Mr. Baldoni has blamed the intimacy coordinator for supposedly writing graphic new sex scenes, including foreplay and orgasms, and talking about a clit. I don't know if I can say that on YouTube, but I just did. But Miss Lively consented to the sex scenes in the script as written at the time she signed on to the film. And Mr. Baldoni did not have consent to rewrite and add sex scenes, even if he did so with an intimacy coordinator in her absence.
That's my point.
Okay. The purpose of the intimacy coordinator is to work with the actors to establish the appropriate boundaries based on what is in the script, not to rewrite the script to add more sexual content to satisfy the director's demands. Go to this next slide. And this is where Justin Baldoni admits that he met with the intimacy coordinator in Blake Lively's absence. These are all of his notes that he took about crafting new sex scenes and how he wanted them to go. All of these notes that he has, these are not in the script. This is his new, he's like improving.
Funny sex position.
All of these ideas are in consultation with an intimacy coordinator without his scene partner. What is that last one? It says orgasm, the clit test. Is that what that says?
It looks like it says that.
That's his handwriting. He has provided this as evidence.
I don't know if it does say that, but
this is how he describes it. Okay, this is Baldoni's April 21st. This is also before filming, right? Baldoni meets with the intimacy coordinator to discuss how to shoot the sex scenes. It was important to him that the intimacy coordinator be a woman to help craft sex scenes that would speak to the book's mostly female audience. Written for the female gaze. His notes from his meeting are pictured below and were later shared with Lively during one of their script writing meetings at her New York apartment. So he's like, here's what I wrote with the intimacy coordinator present. You don't get to talk to we don't get to coordinate with the actual intimacy coordinator. But I'm just going to show you these notes and you have to approve them because, I'm saying that they've been blessed by an intimacy coordinator who's not present.
Well, and that's not what the intimacy coordinator's job is to do.
No.
The intimacy coordinator doesn't go, yes, that's acceptable. The intimacy coordinator mediates between the actor and the director when the actor is like, yo, I don't want to do that. Like, we got to do something else. There's no way he can.
I know. Blake Lively is. So they are both in agreement about this.
Not orgasming.
So Blake Lively's issue is this is what Baldoni admits. In her absence, he goes, as seen in the notes, these mentions come directly from the intimacy coordinator's notes. So Blake Lively didn't have any input into whether this conversation was going off the fucking rails or not, okay? In quotes, goes down on her. In quotes, orgasm. In quotes, foreplay. In quotes, the clit test. Ideally, these conversations would have taken place directly between Lively and the intimacy coordinator directly. What? Ideally, brother, you're the fucking director. You can't make that happen.
You're also a producer.
I know.
You're the owner of the fucking movie.
Okay, postpone your fucking meeting until Blake Lively can be present. What the fuck? As Baldoni had requested, however, Lively declined to meet with her, leaving Baldoni in the less than ideal position of having to relay these notes to Lively in her penthouse. That is not how that works. No. That's not how that works. She needed to be present or else this is fucking weird. This is not coordinating.
Yeah,
at all.
I mean, or no. This is well, I mean, it's not coordinating with both actors. It's not coordinating. No, it's not.
Yeah.
You can't write the stunt without the stunt guy there. I mean, you can write the stunt without the stunt guy there, but when the stunt guy shows up and says, I can't run that fast, or I can't turn,
Yeah, see, so when he brought this to her and she was like, no, I'm not doing any of that.
That's what the coordinator is there for.
Now it's a fucking problem
now
with
the
him.
coordinator's like, okay, well, here's what we can try.
No, but here's the thing is in the absence of that, right? So Baldoni set the situation up for her to not approve what the discussion that she was not involved in. And now she's the jerk.
Yeah.
According to him, she's the jerk because she didn't actually have input in any of these ideas he made about how he's going to change the script that everybody agreed on. Mm-hmm. Okay. So I don't know. I feel like that's refuted by his own evidence. Don't you think?
I do.
Okay. We can move on to the next one. This is, everybody loves to say that there was no SH. I'm not going to read all of this. This is just to show you how much of this is his timeline document. And this entire page is how he is describing the SH that happened on set. Justin Baldoni is admitting that the things that Blake Lively is complaining about did happen. So I just wanted to narrow in on
Wayfarer was made aware that Lively had placed a call to the film's Sony executive to share a few grievances, May 29, 2023. Baldoni's sexy comment about the wardrobe of her character Lily, which was previously contextualized, was benign and mischaracterized by Lively, who took the comment personally.
Well, there you go.
That's the whole fucking definition of SH right there.
Do you want to just like...
She personally found the comment to be offensive.
Okay, yeah, so that's May 29th.
Yeah.
This is in the first month of filming.
They're acknowledging it. This is people, they come onto this channel, they go all over the fucking internet, they scream and shout about how there's no SH, and it's literally right there. We don't get to decide whether or not we think it's there's veracity to it or if it's legitimate or whatever. We know there's veracity to it because they're confirming it.
Can you scroll down to his text message? Because there's some evidence there. Yeah. This is great. Just let's see that the second page.
May 30th.
I want you to know that I've been made aware of your concerns and I hear you. They are fully received and adjustments will be made.
Eminently.
Okay, well, there you have it. Go down to, scroll down a little. Let's look at June 1st. This is
By the way, this isn't dissimilar to what, I mean, he went into, it seems, more details when he was dealing with Mr. Howard.
No, Shane Norman filed a lawsuit where he said that when he complained to
fucking Mr. Howard.
Shane Norman filed a lawsuit. He said that when he complained to Justin Baldoni about the racial discrimination he was dealing with at Wayfarer Studios, that Justin Baldoni smoothed it all over and said this very similar thing. I want you to know that I've been made aware of your concerns and I hear you. They are fully received and adjustments will be made imminently. And Shane Norman alleges, according to his lawsuit, that Wayfarer and Justin Baldoni only retaliated after that. But this is the part that I usually share with people, okay? This next paragraph. In the meeting that Lively called to air out all of her complaints,
yes,
okay?
Yeah.
Where she was not given, according to Blake Lively, she was not given a HR protocol to follow, okay? Nobody directed her to HR. It's one of the reasons why she had to contact Sony and be like, what can I do about this? And Sony was like, I'm sorry, but they're the production company in charge of the set. If it's set misconduct, then they're in charge of it. So here she is. She's like calling a meeting. She's like, guys, we got to get to the bottom of this. We have to figure out how this can stop happening. Justin Baldoni, this is his document. He is admitting in the meeting, Lively revisited the sexy comment, okay? Which Justin Baldoni had already apologized for twice. That happened on May 23rd.
So it's a done deal, by the way. All you have to do is say sorry, according to the CRD. All you do is you say sorry, and everything goes away.
Yeah, that's what the law says. Yeah, for sure.
Almost like confessional.
The law says that all you have to do is apologize. You don't actually have to follow a legal protocol whatsoever.
You just have to say, I'm sorry.
I know.
And look them in the eye. I think that's one of the rules. You have to look them in the eye. I don't think you can.
I don't know if people can read your sarcasm as well as I want them to, because I'm telling you. So Justin Baldoni is refuting his own fucking claims here, okay?
Yeah.
On May 16th, he admits that that Blake Lively accused Heath of looking at her while she was naked. Okay, so that's another one. Down after this page break, okay, Lively further claimed that Heath had shown her a video of his wife's home birth and thought it was pornographic. This is another complaint of hers. And it literally doesn't matter whether people think that the SH claims were bad enough or if they count or whatever, that she made them very formally is enough. According to the law, they had to follow a protocol to deal with her because she's an employee, they're employers, and then them's the fucking rules. By only apologizing and minimizing. They don't get to
decide what makes her comfortable or uncomfortable. They don't like to. They don't get to decide what her first impression was of the video.
Yep, that's right. So the next slide is just I highlighted those portions that I just read to you guys. Like, this is them admitting it. It's in there. It's in his own timeline document. Like, you can't say that there was no SH when he is admitting to the things that she complained about actually happening on set.
Yeah, and look, if there's Team Baldoni folks who are trying to pretend like this isn't the case, maybe there are a few out there who read this and they want to sort of believe that that the recipient gets to decide whether there's a complaint or not, as opposed to the complainant. Do you know what I mean? Like.
That there would be no protection.
The idea. What I'm saying here is that well, of course not. But what their idea is that they're buying into some concept that they can just be like, okay, whatever, and then that should do it. Like, oh yeah, she said there was a problem, but there is no problem, so therefore there is no problem.
Yeah.
It's madness, and it's madness that all these people are buying into, or they're completely ignoring the actual facts and deciding that there was no SH. Because either somebody told them that, or they just want to believe something that they're not actually willing to look into.
Yeah, and so here we see this is Justin Baldoni's own document that he filed in court where he is admitting that these things did happen. He just thinks that...
Which he posted for them to read.
Yep, and he's hoping that everybody just believes him when he minimizes these and say that they were no big deal. And he apologized a bunch of times, and so she should just move on and forget it. Okay, that's all he's got. I said...
I'm sorry.
It was a joke, okay?
You know it was a joke.
Okay, the next one is my very favorite allegation. I'm sorry that this is kind of ugly looking, but I just highlighted the exact part where Brian Friedman's narrative is totally contradicted by the evidence. It says the email says that we have got Blake Lively to approve the trailer, and Brian Friedman up here says that Blake Lively is refusing to approve the trailer. Brother, where?
Yeah, well, let's do a little bit of reading here.
Yeah, okay. So the narrative is like big hyperbole time. I don't believe that any of this is happening. There would be evidence if any of this was happening.
Let me read it. So this is May 2nd, 2024. While Lively is holding the film hostage in the edit room, she is simultaneously stalling the film's marketing by refusing to approve key materials, including the trailer release. Let's go right down right away. Let's not waste
This is the evidence
time.
he provided for us to look at.
He puts this same evidence in the same fucking. Jamie and I have blank, which is assuming this is the
Sony
executive
yeah.
on here too. Blank has gotten Blake to approve the trailer we want with our narration, the chair kick, the bruise, etc. And Blake is calling Taylor to approve the song.
Okay, that looks like she's approving key assets, bro. What are you talking about that she's refusing to approve them?
She, of course, just reached out saying that she's asking for more time with her editor. We know it was conditional on her signing the contract. This contract, by the way, I believe. Now, this is what I'm talking about. Like, this is where this gets a little shady because this is where we don't, you got to dig in deeper. This fucking contract that Jamie wants her to sign would have the executive producer credit and her signature on the same page, on the same document.
Yes.
Which means that he could very easily just be like, look, you signed the contract, you agreed to it, we're going to go with that.
That you don't get to have a producer credit.
So I'm speculating here, but I believe that the reason why he's holding out on this contract
why Jamie Heath?
I believe why she's holding on this contract is she knows that Jamie Heath is not going to give her what she deserves.
What she's currently earning by working on the trailer
Literally
assets.
Taylor Swift above. Listen, Blake is calling Taylor. I just want to put that in perspective. Taylor Swift, arguably the biggest pop star in the world. Blake is calling her on the phone.
To put a song in their movie.
And the only way you can get Taylor Swift songs is in this kind of a way, through some kind of majorly close connection.
You're saying you can't buy them.
They're not for sale, bro. Taylor Swift is not for sale. She is only she basically is endorsing things at this stage in her career, not selling anything. So it's an immense piece of producing by Blake Lively. And so there's so much more into this. And the other thing you can look into here is it says, Jamie, I have blank on here too. Blank has gotten Blake to approve the trailer we want.
Yep.
We being me and Jamie, right? With our narration, and then notice what their emphasis is on. The chair kick, the bruise. Remember all Justin talked about was his DV focus.
Yes.
His DV focus,
That's
his DV focus.
Yeah.
So now what we can glean from here is that they're getting what they want.
Yep.
So they're arguing that she's taking over and she's stepping all over and everybody gets the fuck. It's a collaborative sport, baby.
This right here is the opposite of her holding anything hostage.
The Philadelphia Eagles won the Super Bowl, not Jalen Hurts.
She's on the phone getting Taylor to approve a song that is a major asset for their film that's going to enrich Wayfarer. And at the same time, Jamie Heath is trying to make an ultimatum to block her out of getting a producer credit that's not in her initial contract.
And the trailer,
she is earning her producer credit, and he is trying to gatekeep that from her.
And the trailer is a collaborative effort, including the people at Wayfarer. So everybody's in on it too. That's the important thing here, because above this, just now, he said that she's obstructing this. And then when you go down and you actually read it, she's not only she's not obstructing it, she's working collaboratively with them.
Yeah, and in fact, the Sony marketing executive thinks that the only person who's not playing ball is Wayfarer.
You guys don't want to play ball.
Yep.
You're going to delay and greatly hurt the movie. Good luck. And this is a very important distinction, because here we are not at least as far as we know, not at the stage where they're launching a smear campaign. But we asked ourselves, no more than one occasion, we've asked ourselves, how the fuck do these guys go out and actually destroy their own product? And here we have Sony spotting this as a potential in them. Literally. They're sabotaging their own they're ready to.
You are going to greatly hurt the movie. Okay, so Sony's like, obviously Wayfarer is not working with us. You guys don't want to play ball. Maybe this is why they've started leaning on Blake Lively and relying on her to do more of the production work. Because Jamie Heath has obviously got his own agenda where he's interested in fucking playing these like signature games that Sony doesn't even fucking care about. They're the distributor, right? Can you clarify this? That if there is anybody in the entire ecosystem of this film that is that needs to care about signatures on contracts, it's the distributor, right? They need to have a clean book before they sell this movie.
First and foremost.
Yeah. And so here Sony is saying that
unless you're the producers and you don't have a distributor.
So Sony is saying, we know it was conditional on signing the contract, but we're asking you if you will reconsider so that so Redacted can release this trailer and Blake does not change her mind regarding Taylor Swift. Jamie is the one who wants her signature, and Sony doesn't care about it. They're like, we're just going to kick that down the road, bro. It doesn't fucking matter. What we need is these fucking assets that Blake Lively is enriching both of our fucking property with.
I want to clarify that this part too. So Blank can release this trailer and Blake does not change her mind. This is the person implying that Blake will change her mind, not Blake.
Yeah.
And this is a very important thing because it's very easy to read something like this and like come away from it and think, oh, Blake Lively must be leveraging her relationship with Taylor Swift.
Sony executive number 1. You can see how they continue this fucking bullshit narrative below. Scroll back up. No, scroll back. There. Faced with Lively's escalating threats. Yeah, this is the only piece of evidence they're showing us in this entire fucking huge section of this complaint, where they're talking about how she's making threats. She's holding things hostage. It is not in the evidence. The only evidence that Brian Friedman or Justin Baldoni's lawyers has provided is this, that refutes the claim that she is holding anything hostage, that refutes the claim that she's refusing to do anything. She's helping Wayfair in this moment. She's producing for Wayfair and Sony right now. So correct. I don't understand. I think that this is refuted.
And then what's interesting is I'm available to talk on the phone. Call me if you're free. Is Jamie Heath's response, which is so interesting because he basically doesn't want it in writing at this point. And then after that conversation, that's when you get the you guys don't want to play ball. And I think that's when it becomes painfully obvious to the Sony marketing executive that there's something more at play here than just. I really feel like that because when you say you don't want to play ball, that means you're trying to leverage something, you're trying to get something. Yeah. There's something fucking sneaky going on.
Also, the last thing, I thought this was interesting. The Sony marketing executive said, finish the director's cut and we could have multiple previews down the road.
Yeah, I was thinking
so Sony's not preventing him from finishing a director's cut. They're telling him to.
Yeah, I mean, they're arguably leveraging it. And again, if executives are going to behave this way, so when you have an executive saying something like, please just reconsider so that Blake doesn't change her mind. That's not Blake saying that. That's an executive saying that to try and leverage Jamie Heath into acquiescing to their request. And it probably is not the case with Blake. In fact, I would almost guarantee that Blake is not going to play around with Taylor Swift in this situation. She's not going to ask and then take backsies on it. She's going to be like, are you in? Are you in? So if she's already in with Taylor Swift, that's a wrap.
This is Blake Lively making good on her promise to make her dragons available for Justin Baldoni to benefit from. She promised it when they first met, and here she is. I don't know what the date is on this. Oh yeah, May 3rd. Not just a fucking couple weeks later. She's fucking delivering on that. No, sorry, it was the next year. Yeah. Like just a year later, he's benefiting from Blake's dragons right here. I also just wanted to say that when she first signed on to Wayfair, to It Ends With Us, Sony was siding with Wayfair in preventing her from getting a producer's credit out the gate. And here, Sony has departed from their alliance with Wayfair. The next slide is just some of Blake Lively's evidence about how pleased Sony was with her work. Okay, this was after the release of the film. Ange Gianetti, who's a Sony producer, said, "Hey there, I'm sure Josh is updating you on the huge response to the trailer," she's telling Blake. 108 million views in 24 hours. Just incredible, but I'm texting to thank you. I know how hard you worked on making that trailer perfect round after round with creative advertising, and all while you're shooting, working on the cut, mother of four, and on and on and on. Still a long way until August 9th, but an incredible launch. Fans are so excited. And learned from publisher this AM, Amazon sold 6,000 copies of the book in 12 hours after trailer dropped. A beautiful start, and thank you for making it so, Ange.
God, I don't know what would happen if I sold 6,000 books in 12 hours. I think I would have some kind of there would be some kind of bleeding from the eyes or something.
You would bleed from the eyes?
Something.
So this is just to show you that that Jamie Heath was told by Sony, you are not playing ball, you're going to greatly harm this movie. And Sony is talking to Blake Lively this way in gratitude for the producing work that she's been doing to enrich Wayfair and make their property and Colleen Hoover's property a massive success.
Beyond the trailer, on June 19, 2024, one of the film's producers described Miss Lively's edit of the film as excellent and her work as truly beautiful. Now, look, there's lip service in Hollywood, and I'm not suggesting that, she's not going to get it. She's a big star. She would.
She's helping make them rich.
Yeah. I mean, look, I think it's so abundantly clear here what's going on. And again, I just want to point out that it's like, film isn't a collaborative art. So I guess, there are.
You're saying it's not?
It is. It's a collaborative art form. And if there's a director involved, that's not like even Woody Allen would say of his own screenwriting, right? To actors, you're not beholden to the script. The script is my dialogue. This is your character now. Do with it what you want, but you know where I'm going and what I want from the scene. Mm-hmm. And that's a really important distinction because, letting go of authorship is a part of the collaborative process, not just contributing. And these guys just seem to have a whole fucking messed up head over all of it.
Yeah, some thanks that she got from fucking Wayfair for making the trailer a huge success. I don't know why they didn't, have more gratitude towards Blake Lively for the work that she did. Okay. The next thing that is refuted by Justin Baldoni's own evidence is that his allegation that Blake Lively shamelessly removed Baldoni, the film's co-star, director, and executive producer, who had championed the film for 5 years and whose company had co-funded the entire project, that Blake Lively shamelessly removed Baldoni out of all posters, trailers, and other promotional materials. She continues to refuse to promote the film otherwise. Okay? What he provides here as evidence is this okay, it's from a Sony executive. This is an email from a Sony executive to Jamie Heath, June 18th, 2024. Hey, Jamie, we had a very successful weekend at Book Bonanza, and the fans loved the book art displayed at the event. We would like to release this art as our second teaser poster for domestic distribution, since it has already been released internationally in many markets. It only makes sense to use it domestically as well. We'd love to start printing tomorrow and get it into theaters. However, this version does not have Justin Baldoni's A Film By credit, so we would need to waive that. Please let me know if this is approved. Where is Blake Lively's name in this? Where is Blake Lively being blamed in this? This looks like Sony marketing. The Sony executive is just saying, hey, we have this trailer that we have this poster that's been performing really well. We'd like to use it over here stateside too. Absolutely nowhere does it say that she is responsible.
And again, once again, this poster, by the way, is the poster, the profile picture of Blake
with the flowers in her
hair. The flowers in her hair. And again, you put Justin Baldoni at the top of that. It just spoils that whole fucking artwork. I mean, that artwork is garbage after that. I'm sure they put it up there and they were like,
nobody knows that name. Nobody knows who that is.
Marketing, of course, nobody cares. But marketing is going to be like, if they're going to be aghast, they're going to be just like, oh, you're ruining my masterpiece. They love their work. They know that movie posters are collectibles. They know that people love the work, and they also, they know that it has a job to do, which is put butts in seats. But they also really love the craft, and they love the art, and they love the output. And I know this because I've worked with some of them through the years, and I can fucking assure you that if they put that fucking credit up there and it looked like garbage, that's why they wanted it gone. Nobody wanted it gone because Justin Baldoni directed the movie. He still directed the movie to this day.
Yes.
He will always be the director of It Ends With Us, whether or not he got a fucking above the title credit or not. And we already know because we've shown it to you on this live. Probably have it in a slide.
It's the next one, but don't go there yet. Don't go there yet. What I'm saying is that here we have in the evidence, the only evidence that Justin Baldoni has given us about this allegation, about how Blake Lively has removed his name from all of the promotional posters and the trailer and everything, that Blake Lively is responsible for that. That's her decision. She made that demand. This is the only evidence that he provides. And here we have a very clear explanation for why his name is missing from the artwork.
Yeah.
It does not involve Blake Lively. I feel like this is a clear contradiction to his claims. And then what we see in the next slide is a still from the trailer, where we see that a film by Justin Baldoni and directed by Justin Baldoni is in the trailer. Blake Lively has not succeeded in whatever devious plot to remove his name from the trailer. It's there.
And such a pretentious credit of film by Justin Baldoni is such a fucking joke. Oh, Justin Baldoni, the Visionaire. Come on, man. The Visionary, I should say. The Visionaire.
The Visionaire.
It sounds like a TV brand. Visionaire. Turning channels with your mind.
Okay. So that I feel like that kind of puts that to bed. This is Justin Baldoni just straight up lied about that.
He lied, yeah. Are we done?
Nope.
Okay.
Okay.
We haven't even talked to our our people, it's almost 8:45.
We're going to. But
Okay.
we won't get through it if we stop now because
Okay.
we'll be in the weeds.
All right. You ready to go?
Yeah.
Okay.
Why does that make you sad?
'Cause I just like talking to the.
Oh, I do too, and
part
we
of what
will.
I love about doing lives is talking to people, and we're not doing that at all, and so I'm missing it. Let's go.
Okay, so here is the very, I'm sure everybody's heard this. Blake Lively accused of trying to take creative control from Justin Baldoni. Okay, these are all the headlines. Okay. This one is very thoroughly refuted,
Yeah.
but it's a lot of different ways. Okay, let's go to the next slide. Let's just see what he shows here. This next one is Justin Baldoni, who's telling the story about how he told his production company that he is going to give Lively 98% of what she wants. He says he's waving the white flag and submitting, and that he's going to give Lively 98% of what she wants. Can you zoom back out? That's his allegations of this is how he describes how she is. He emails his team of producers and he's telling them what's up about it. This is December 27th, so she's giving script notes. He doesn't want to take her script notes, even though she's been his close collaborator. You know, to her, he's calling her a close collaborator and really, you know, grateful for her collaboration. But here he says that he doesn't want to, and then he is telling everybody that he's going to give her 98% of what she wants. So he's going to sue her for this. Why? I'm not sure. He's acquiescing. Do you have anything to say about this?
I mean, look, I think it's self-explanatory, you know? I mean, he's saying, I'm going to give her what she wants. You know, look, just because I don't care if you want to use the term nagged. I don't care if you want to say that she, you know, berated you. It doesn't fucking matter. You said yes. It's the end of the story. You can just say no. You can just say no, you know? And if it's frustrating, then I'm sorry, that's the person you're dealing with, you know? It's just like, you got to take responsibility for the fucking actions that you take.
Did she take control or did she sort of...
Or was she given it?
Yeah, exactly. This next slide, I just pulled up the DGA rules, you know, where he was talking about how she wanted to get into the editing bay with him, and he asked his producers if they could somehow keep her out of it. Well, you've mentioned this before, that his producers could have just cited the Directors Guild's rules. I think it's in this bottom part.
Oh, it's within 10 weeks. It's even more.
No. Within 10 weeks after the close of principal photography, or within a period of time after the close of principal photography equal to 1 day of editing time for each 2 days of originally scheduled photography.
Wow,
So,
we would have gotten 6 days to cut Dawn's Plum. No, wait. We would have gotten... You get 1 day of editing time for each 2 days of originally scheduled photography?
yeah.
So then we would have a 2...
So I guess it's whichever
We'd
is
have
greater.
1.5 days.
Whichever is greater. So
We'd have a day and a half to shoot. To
okay,
cut
and
Dawn's
then if it's a low budget film, it's within 6 weeks after the close of principal photography. 1 day of editing time for each 1 day of originally scheduled. Anyway, he could have cited that.
Which one is that called?
This one is called 8 DGA rules. Go up. 8. There you go. You see it? DGA rules, JPEG? Thanks. That's it. Anyway, this is something that his producers could have cited when they were trying to protect Baldoni from having interference in his director's cut.
Yeah, they probably
They could
didn't know
have.
it.
She would have acquiesced to this, but they didn't. They didn't use it. They could have, and they didn't. So he wasn't protected. By them.
I would have protected my director for the 10 weeks that the DGA allowed.
This next one is really interesting too. April 23rd, Jamie Heath learns that Lively asked Sony to bring other creative collaborators into the cutting room. And so their email back and forth, the Sony executive is reassuring Wayfarer that they do have final cut, okay? Spoke to Redacted. He will tell Blake tomorrow he cannot authorize her requesting regarding Exitorial. It's a Wayfarer movie. They have final cut and run process. We are only investors and releasing. Must get approval from you all. He understands. So something changed. This is an issue. This is a creative dispute that Justin Baldoni has with Sony. Blake Lively is being scapegoated by a creative conflict that Wayfarer has with Sony. Sony is not even mentioned.
I just
They're
want
not
to point
even
out,
named.
by the way, that if they had creative control of the movie and Sony took it, then it has to be Sony that you would go after. It can't be Blake Lively, even if you think Blake Lively was the influencer. Mm-hmm. So it doesn't matter if you think Blake Lively was whispering in Sony's ear. I said from the very beginning that in order for Blake Lively to wrest control of the movie, she had to have a co-conspirator, and here it is. Now, here's what's even more interesting about it is that there must have been some clause in there that allowed Sony to some kind of emergency type clause, meaning like, you know, if Sony, the distributor, you know, whatever, saw an instability in the post-production, or if post-production didn't go the way that it needed to go, Sony would have the right to intervene or something. There had to be something, because, or they're just so scared of suing Sony for reasons I can't even understand.
I know.
People sue studios all the time.
But the Sony executive said, it's a way for a movie. They have final cut and run process. We are only investors in releasing. Okay. Well, so what happened, right?
What happened?
Let's go to the next one. This, I think, is interesting. This is very telling. This is my favorite piece of evidence, because here Justin Baldoni is asking his editors why he has been excluded from the editing room, and the editor says very clearly, it's per Sony. This is Sony's decision. Sony has told us that you are not invited into the editing room, and then he instantly projects that onto Lively. And he said the editors and director isn't allowed to look at an actress's cut. Well, why is she in this? You were just told that Sony is telling you you're excluded. How come you're mad at her?
Well, it's the same thing as the previous slide. Everything they blame on, they think Blake Lively was manipulating Sony.
Okay, but where's
the evidence? But in the same way that Justin Baldoni gave her what she wanted, if Sony was being manipulated by Blake Lively, it would still be Sony being manipulated.
Yeah. The next slide is back to Blake Lively's text message that she shares with the Sony producer saying, thanking Blake for her edit. This is August 11th, 2024. Blake, $50 million. Your blood, sweat, tears, brilliance, smarts, heart, and soul in every single frame. My God, it's incredible. Thank you 50 million times, and it's only Saturday night. Okay, so Sony at some point sided with Blake Lively in this conflict about who was going to have theatrical cut and that it wasn't going to be the director's cut. Why isn't Sony named in this? Okay.
You know, I mean,
I feel like her taking control over the movie is real fishy.
Are we getting close to being done?
Yes, we're being close to being done.
It's just, I'm getting.
Are you not having a good time?
I'm having a good time. I'm just, like I said, I want to talk about it with these guys, and it's just been like 2 straight hours, and I'm getting a little dull. I'm feeling it in the.
Okay. Well,
okay. Final cut. Let's go.
Sorry to put you through it, bro.
No, it's cool. I'm just saying, like, it's like, you know, are we there yet?
Okay. This is 0.9 of 10. Okay.
Okay, great.
Justin Baldoni said that he was forbidden from seeing the final cut. Okay. Here he says in these 3, you can zoom out. I'm going to read these. Okay. I'm not going to read them all. First mention of final cut in his complaint is Justin Baldoni was not even allowed to review the final cut before it was shown to the world at Book Bonanza. The next one is July 2024. Baldoni was completely locked out of the film's final cut. Okay. The next one is, this is just days before the film's premiere. Okay. Baldoni did the best he could to hide his pain despite still not having seen the final cut of the movie that he co-starred, co-financed, and directed. Well, I believe that he did see the fucking final cut. I believe that the evidence that Baldoni shows that he did see the final cut. Let's go to the next slide. He is saying here also, let's see. Baldoni was completely locked out of the film's final cut. Okay? Sorry, that is in his timeline. So those are all the mentions where he talks about how he's locked out of the final cut. But here's what we have on the next slide. This is some evidence. This is an email from Jamie Heath to Sony representatives. Jamie Heath says, as discussed, the team has gone through Blake's last edit, and we have the following notes for the Blake Lively editor and Blake to consider. So Heath admits that they saw the final cut. Can you explain what that there may be some confusion about the last edit and the final cut and why those are maybe different? Or because I believe that he saw the film.
Yeah, so do I.
The last edit?
They're not going to show, so for example, he says here, we'd like this to be presented to them in the spirit of wanting to share notes and thoughts and efforts to achieve the same goal. So here's what we have. We have a situation where they were given the cut, they returned the cut with notes, and the notes were either taken or not taken, but there seems to be an expectation that they would then get it back again to see which notes were taken. But in all likelihood, they saw that. So what he might be saying, what they might be saying, is that they never got to see final cut because. First, because They're not going to fucking do whatever changes and then go back and be like, do you approve? Especially when you're trying to meet a schedule. That's a fucking hamster wheel. They take your notes, they apply them or they don't apply them, and then they move forward to the next level. But there's no expectation you're going to have further notes. It's the final pass. So I give you the notes. You say, yeah, here are all my notes. And it's so weird because they're clearly trying to like jockey for position, in the spirit of wanting to share notes and all this other stuff. And that's cool, whatever. Do whatever you got to do. But it doesn't mean that they're going to get it back after.
In the spirit of blocking her producer's credit. Like, what the fuck
whatever.
Do you mean the spirit of?
It is what it is. And say whatever you want about that. But like, and look, it's so interesting because they're saying, they may choose not to respond to them, but at least can you tell us, or can you assure us that they've been delivered? We can hope that some of them are considered. Again, they're already talking about a situation where like it's a wrap on their end. So, and then this is the discomfort of it, right? It's like, okay, so you lost Final Cut. Now, I don't know what they had contractually that allowed that to happen, but they had to have had something.
We saw the text message.
Or we would be seeing something from Jamie Heath saying, we have Final Cut, fuck you.
He can litigate that text message if he wanted to.
Trust me, Tony Kaye would have taken Final Cut.
Yeah.
If he had it.
Well, so here's the thing, man. I don't understand why Blake Lively is being blamed for any of this. There has not been a single piece of evidence presented.
Blake Lively is being blamed because Blake Lively is working on the alternative cut.
Okay, for Sony.
Yeah, I know. So
they're in charge.
But I'm just telling you that the reason she's been blamed is because she's the one who's working sort of antithetically to their effort, right? Or in juxtaposition to their effort. And so, and if she's winning out, then it breeds into this idea of paranoia, but the idea that she might be speaking to, Sony executives to persuade them in her direction of, I
would like to see the evidence of that.
I'm just saying I'm not saying there's evidence.
What I'm saying is like
that's what might be going through their fucking head.
I just feel like she's not responsible because they have not provided any evidence that shows that she's responsible for him being forbade from seeing the final cut. And Jamie Heath here is talking about how they saw the final edit. They saw the last edit and they gave notes on it. So I'm not sure how this is a strong claim. Okay. I just don't, we're going just on what Baldoni has showed us. It seems like it's contradicted. Okay. The next allegation is that there was no retaliation. This is the last thing that I want to show you guys. We can just go through all of these. This is very, very, very clear evidence of retaliation. Of course, we can't send over the work that we will or could do because that would get us in a lot of trouble. We can't write it down to him. We can't write, we will destroy her. We will go do this. We'll do this. We'll do this. I mean, I'm sorry. Can you zoom out? This to me looks like it's evidence of some kind of retaliation. We can go to the next one. We can just zoom through these. This is Justin Baldoni directing his publicist. This is what we would need. And he shows a screenshot of a different celebrity being accused of bullying women. Okay. This is what we would need. Tell me how that's not exactly him directing his publicist to invent a story about Blake Lively. And then scroll down to the bottom.
At the bottom?
Yes. At the bottom.
It says that this is the bottom?
Nope.
Oh, I thought it was.
Focus on Reddit, TikTok, and Instagram.
Yeah.
And that's what we saw.
And we saw some of that when we read those anonymous posts with throwaway accounts. Yeah,
this to me is the most damning text. This is Justin Baldoni he's directing his publicist to attack her in the press.
This and that whatever that correspondence was where Justin Baldoni says, let's make shit up about Ryan Reynolds. Like, so now you know that it's a pattern for him. It's not just something he did once. Or
he's definitely brainstorming with them. Jennifer Abel tells Jamie Heath that that all of these tabloids are fully briefed of the situation and they're armed and ready to take this story of Blake weaponizing feminism to any of the outlets the minute we give her the green light.
She hates Blake and heard this story before and will do anything for us. This
is not Jennifer Abel protecting her client. This is Jennifer Abel attacking a person who's not involved in her business at all. This is not something that any publicist is ethically allowed to do without making themselves susceptible to big litigation, and that's exactly why we are where we are.
I wonder what she means by heard this story before.
Okay.
What story?
Yeah, who knows? Let's go to the next one. This one is just oh yeah, I'm sorry, that's a repeat. Go to the next one. I'm having reckless thoughts of wanting to plant pieces this week of how horrible Blake is to work with. Okay, what does this have to do with your client? When are you guys ever doing anything to protect your client or improve the reputation of your own client? You're just fixated on attacking this other woman. Let's go to the next one. I love this one too. If you see like in the second third, all of this will most importantly be untraceable. Okay. This is Melissa Nathan telling Jamie and Jen about all the things that they have prepared to do and how much it's going to cost them to go on the attack. Crisis. And all of it's going to be untraceable. Okay, you guys can read this yourself, but let's go to the next one. There's so much of this evidence. I think we really need to put the social combat plan into motion. Okay, look at the date on that. That is August 7th. They put the day before the month, so that's August 7th. Go to the next one. And this is sorry, it's a little blurry. So this is Katie Case. She works for TAG. And I have the highlighted part. The integral part here is to execute all without fingerprints. Okay, so you guys can read through all of this. This is what Wayfair is going to pay for. They're going to go to all of the social media and they're going to do full account takedowns and everything. It's just really, really bad. Okay, the next one. Let me just read this one for you guys because it's super, super hard to. I don't know where they got this. This first one is Jen Abel telling Jamie Heath and Melissa Nathan saying, just for clarity, so we understand, does this cover your initial fee, what we discussed in terms of social media mitigation and proactive fan posting to counter the narrative? Or is this in addition to the $15K previously agreed upon for TAG and does not include what we discussed with Melissa Nathan earlier regarding social manipulation from the separate team based in Hawaii? In short, is this the total fee incurred Wayfair $30K or is there more required to ensure we're properly protected? And then Jennifer Abel responds to Jed Wallace.
This is on the next slide?
No. This is the same one. It's just lower down. Is this something we can bring them up to speed on so they can hit the ground running? This is them coordinating with TAG's contractors to do social media work. Okay, you want to tell me that there's no retaliation, but they're spending $30K a month contracting these guys? Okay, you can go to the next slide. This is just, there's so much of this evidence. We are crushing it on Reddit. Check out that date. That is
August 9th.
August 9th.
Day of the premiere.
We're crushing it on Reddit. Go to the next one. What did they do on Reddit? Check out this date. Blake Lively snark. It's a welcome to the Blake Lively snark following and scrutinizing the now infamous Hollywood couple since day one, the August 9th, 2024. They started a snark page the same day. And look at all those subscribers. 9,100 subscribers. They're crushing it on Reddit. It's true.
They are indeed.
Okay, go to the next one.
Oh, shit. What's it called?
That is, go to 10, no retaliation 11. There you go. Thanks. Let's see. We've started to see a shift on social due largely to Jed and his team's efforts to shift the narrative towards shining a light on Blake and Ryan. Guys, Jennifer Abel doesn't work for Blake and Ryan. Why is she talking about them so much? Okay, go to the next one.
It's nuts.
It's nuts. Thanks to Jed and his efforts. Okay, so this is Justin Baldoni asking his publicist whether they are using bots because the bots are really obvious. And Melissa Nathan is telling him that we don't use those bots. We use different contractors. Okay?
Yeah.
Go to the next one. She's admitting that they have a bunch of people working for them. It's just not the bots that he's specifically pointing out. Go to the next one. This is Justin Baldoni brainstorming more attacks on Ryan Reynolds. Something about Ryan claiming the female hired was feminist writer, didn't know how to tackle a female film, use their own words against them. He's brainstorming an attack on Ryan. Okay, go to the next one.
It's fucking crazy.
I know, dude. Like, they're saying there's no fucking evidence. This sort of concludes what I wanted to show to you guys, but this here is the judge's ruling where he is saying, just like we are, you can scroll down because I'm going to read this bottom part. The court will not grant leave to amend the majority of the Wayfair party's claims because amendment would be futile. The dismissal of the claims does not rest on technical pleading defects, and the Wayfair parties have not made a showing of the complaints defects can be cured. Okay. The Wayfarer parties do not identify any particular factual allegation that could be added to support the defamation or civil extortion claims, nor is it plausible that any allegations not yet mentioned would change the basic substance of Lively's threats, the conclusion that the CRD complaint was privileged, or the conclusion that relevant statements were made without actual malice. In addition to their 224-page amended complaint, the Wayfarer parties have already submitted to the court an additional 168-page exhibit, which is the timeline, with additional details relevant to their claims. Although the exhibit is not properly considered for the purposes of the motion to dismiss, the allegations within it still would not allow the Wayfarer parties to state a claim. The exhibit contains additional detail on Lively's threats, but if anything, these details cut against a finding of extortion. For example, the exhibit details that for some time Sony and Wayfarer in fact resisted Lively's requests, stating this is a Wayfarer movie. Wayfarer has final cut and runs process. It then states that Lively did not sign her acting agreement so that she could continue to leverage her... Okay, you guys could read the judge's ruling. But what he's saying, because I didn't screenshot the rest. What he's saying is that they didn't support their claims with any evidence. And that's what I'm saying here too. You can go to the next one. I think what we're seeing is this. I think the reason why we have seen everybody be so loud with Justin Baldoni's side is that that's all that they can do. I don't know why they brought this lawsuit. It doesn't make any sense. You know?
Well, it does. They brought this lawsuit to maliciously defame and smear Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and to whatever extent they could, Taylor Swift's name. That's why they did it. That's why the judge threw it out. Everyone in the legal profession now sees it for what it is, which is a PR campaign. And the only PR that they were trying to do was PR that, hurt her reputation and did what they did what they could to ruin her career.
I also think that it's a real tactic. You can go to the next slide. This is the last one. They admit that they're trying to flood the zone with bullshit. They're trying to confuse everybody. These publicists are deliberately trying to confuse people. They'll make a claim. There's no evidence for that claim. They'll have another claim that completely contradicts their other story. It doesn't matter to them. What matters to them is that you're confused, right? I'm hoping that if we provide a service at all, that it's to clarify stuff for people and show people that the evidence does not support this bullshit. Melissa Nathan is admitting that she's very proud of this. All press is so overwhelming. We've confused people, so much mixed messaging. I don't think that we should side with people that deliberately do this. I think that in this day and age, this sort of thing is just exactly what's wrong with everything.
Yeah, I mean, I can't believe that people work with these kinds of people, but they do. So there it is. Hey,
thank you for coming to my TED Talk.
That
concludes my
Nick
presentation.
Said, "Hi, I read some of your book, only the beginning, but it's actually good so far. So maybe I was harsh earlier. I don't know. I haven't looked at chat. I haven't looked at chat since the beginning. Really.
You can take this down.
So I didn't catch your mean remarks. So I forgive you. Hey, listen, man, it's a good book. It is. I worked hard on it, and I actually am kind of talented. That's why I'm angry that Leonardo DiCaprio did what he did. You know what I'm saying? We have the whole chat to go through.
Yeah, I'm starting.
Yeah.
Okay, so have you taken this down yet?
I'm working on it.
Okay.
I'm kind of totally phased out here.
Yeah, why don't you drink some water? We ate a really salty dinner, so I'm not surprised if you're feeling a little foggy.
Stupid.
Huh?
No. Okay, go ahead.
What happened?
Nothing. I'm everything's fine.
Renata said, let's see. No, she was hired as a producer. Even Brian Friedman had to admit this in his amended complaint. Baldoni's fans got fooled. Baldoni himself admitted that she was not just an actress, also proof they're not reading. Baldoni even said if she accepts, it's going to be huge.
Yeah, they knew, and yeah, they chose to paint her in a totally different light. Awe Scientist. I was thinking about Awe Scientist. Who sends you a great compliment. Amazing summary of the worst of Baldoni's bullshit, Angela.
I know. I started yesterday. I was like, I'm going to bring up 5 things. And then overnight I was like,
Well, I wanted to bring up 5 things. I wish you had.
I have to bring up 10 things.
I didn't have the capacity for everything tonight. I am far overloaded. So I forgive. I'm sorry. I'm asking for forgiveness. I am not. I'm just, it was too much for me at once, but it was obviously extremely well done. I just can't, I'm just overloaded. And also, my favorite part of lives is hanging out with people, and we didn't do that. So I'm like, also.
I'd like to now, if that's okay with you.
Yeah, no, we are. I know. I'm just.
Renata said, Dale, it's important. All this context of how executive producer is given and works. General public is unaware of this. Sarowitz was credited as an executive producer in the end of the movie.
Yeah, and his executive producer credit is one that's very customary with giving financiers. So that's just, so the weirdest thing, the thing about the executive producer credit that makes people like Blake Lively and me, frankly, not want to accept a credit like that is because you don't know whose company you're in. Are you the financier, or were you like instrumental in attaching major talent? Like, what did you do? It's very vague. That credit is very vague. Whereas with you, if you have a producer, PGA, then you're undoubtedly deeply involved in the actual production.
Yeah. Cosmic Urgency said, I can understand being intimidated by the Swift Reynolds pressure and viewing it as threatening. Yes, viewing it as threatening is different than her making a threat. And I think that's what Justin Baldoni would have to show a jury if his lawsuit hadn't been dismissed. Where is her threat? I know that you took it as a threat, but what does she say that makes other people recognize it as a threat? Erica said, my thing is men throw out threats like this all the time, but it's just expected.
What threat are we talking about?
I'm guessing this dragon's threat type thing. Like I have a network of heavyweights.
Men throw, what's that? She said men throw it out.
Yeah, men throw out threats like this all the time, but it's just expected.
Oh. What, men throw out dragon threats? Is that true? Yeah,
well, I don't know about all the time, but I know that one of the story that a lot of the Weinstein survivors was telling was that he was like, listen, I'll ruin you. Like you'll be buried in this town, Yeah,
that's
obviously not what Blake Lively was doing. She never verbalized anything like that. Renata said, no man afraid of a powerful husband would send that voice note groveling, I want all of you, for us to share our creative juices.
Wow, you're making a really great point.
And you've got a baby on your boob.
Yeah, you got a really great point. Like he was afraid of no one at that point.
I know.
You're right. Baby on your boob. Like he was afraid of Ryan Reynolds, who was, to him at least, arguably one of the more powerful people in Hollywood.
To share our creative juices?
About this man's child and wife in this way.
Renata also says the wardrobe thing is so petty. Imagine Breakfast at Tiffany's and the director's trashing Audrey Hepburn because her black dress is I can't even pronounce haute couture and costs $40K of today's money. That's cinema, baby.
That's cinema, baby. Look, fucking going over budget on clothes for the star. Hilarious. That's fucking hilarious. And look, a line producer's job, by the way, is to grovel a little bit about that and be like, hey, blah, 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 because they are the ones who do the budget in the first place. So it actually looks bad to the line producer. It probably didn't in this case, but it can look bad on the line producer if the line producer came in, because it's not the fucking talent that made the mistake.
No.
It's the line producer that made the mistake. It's the person who made the budget that made the mistake. They didn't understand what they were dealing with when it came to the wardrobe demands of their lead actors.
Yeah, or it's the wardrobe.
By the way, wardrobe is one of the fucking sneakier pricks of them all in terms of your budget line.
Oh, yeah?
Oh, yeah. It's such a pain in the ass. It catches you off guard all the time. But the reason why it's not that big of a deal is because it accounts to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5% of the budget of any reasonably budgeted film.
Yeah, and also it's like, why is it not the person doing the purchasing who's responsible for how much they're overspending?
It is. That's who's responsible for it. It's my fucking point. My point is just because Blake Lively doesn't like the clothes you got her doesn't make it her fault. It means she doesn't like the fucking clothes. She's like, I'm not going to wear that. My fucking shoulders look like I'm from fucking, Blade Runner. I'm not doing it. She does wear a lot of shoulder pads.
Renata said Paul Feig asked how she wanted her character to dress in A Simple Favor.
I'm so sick of
and the wardrobe is impeccable.
I'm fucking so sick and tired. Of course, she's so fashionably inclined. I'm so sick and tired of people talking about fucking people belting me around in comments. Oh, you fucking actors don't decide their wardrobe. Fuck, they don't. You know when they don't? When they're in Lord of the Rings. That's when they don't. Mm-hmm. But when you're in a contemporary film, now some don't. Many actors will be like, whatever's fine. I trust you. Like there are many who don't give a fuck. They're just there to sip the tea.
They're like, I know you're a fashionista. Bring it.
Fucking Blake Lively has every hair in place, dude. She's not going to fuck around.
Well, that's not true. Her hair is often really scraggly looking, which I thought
by design.
I thought it was really funny. Renata also said that if Blake Lively is supposed to leave home, that involves a nanny and security and 4 children, including a newborn. For Baldoni and the wardrobe to come to her, it's 1 assistant or 2.
Yeah, but that's not the issue here. They have that. They have full-time nannies. You know, I had a friend who was nowhere near the stature of Blake Lively, and they paid their fucking nanny $90,000 a year, I think it was, and a fucking car, and she's there 24/7. You know, she shows up at 8 or whatever, 6 in the morning, whatever, and goes home at like 9, 10 at night, and she fucking runs those children. So there's no additional expense there. No, let's get our heads around what really is going on here. Number one, she's not comfortable. Number 2, the convenience is something that she is emboldening to her in some way. And what we can discern is that there's probably some discomfort around postpartum, around the fact that she just had a child, around the fact that she's so uncertain about the wardrobe that she's going to be going and doing a lot of changing. And what she doesn't want is people coming in and out of trailers. What she doesn't want are hordes of people who want to get a peek at her in the first place. Do you know the first thing that people want to do on a website? First thing that people want to do on a fucking movie set is see the star.
Yep.
And she doesn't need that shit. She wants privacy. She wants the ability to function. And again, somebody who's postpartum, she's probably at least somewhat insecure with the idea of like being exposed.
Not to mention, like, she's probably fucking, like, literally, like, leaking at her chest. So she'd have to, like, bring all the pads and stuff.
I'm saying, dude, postpartum.
Instead of, like, having that on her house.
She takes it off and there's, like, stain on her fucking bra or something. And, you know, like, every fucking... And, you know, we don't even have to get into, like, you know, things that are that terribly personal. The bottom line is that this woman, who was 15 minutes away from the PO...
Yeah.
It's a
mere 15 minutes.
It's they by their own words, they call it a mere 15 fucking minutes. So how can they on the one hand call it nothing and then on the other hand call it a big giant fucking inconvenience?
Erica said fittings at her house seems like a standard thing for a star. It's not like they had to fly to Italy to do it.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, this is a fucking easy... First of all, it's an easy decision. There's no reason why a producer wouldn't want their star to be happy in this situation. You know, unless they're just trying to create drama. Which is, you know, fucking... And they got it. If they did, they got it. Buckets full.
Jane said, a friend gave me your book to read, and I really enjoyed it.
Aww.
It came to my life at just the right moment, so thank you for making it.
Jane, thank you so much for saying that. That's really touching. That really hit me in the fucking... You got me in the throat with that one, Jane. Well, you know, it means everything in the world to hear that and to know that... I'm really thrilled to hear that. Thank you so much for coming.
Dale worked really, really hard on that book.
I did, and I'll tell you that all the effort I did was just at the bleakest of hopes that, you know, one day somebody like you might come along and say something like that.
That's very sweet. Renata said that wardrobe was one of the topics of such vitriol online. It was insane. It lasted for months. That's actually the first thing that I brought to Dale. That's the first thing I heard about this.
Guffawed.
When I first heard about this controversy, I brought him my little phone. I like trotted in here while you were working.
I literally guffawed.
And I was like, what is this? This is bullshit. This seems like bullshit. What is it? And you laughed.
I laughed because...
And you've been in ever since.
Wardrobe on a fucking $26 million movie? You're worried about on a $26 million contemporary.
Renata said Ryle's sister in the movie is drenched in Valentino with a Hermes Birkin, a 25 to 40K bag. So shut up about it.
Tell me that's not a return.
Yeah, totally. They just return it. Okay, Delicatessen said, Swifties take something benign like dragons and beautiful monsters and turn it into a slight. Swifties have mastered making a mountain out of a molehill. I think Melissa knew that because of Scooter Braun.
That's really interesting. Well, yes, they definitely take their lessons.
I think that whole controversy was a tactic because they didn't have any. They like poured over all their text messages that they ever had with Blake Lively. And they were like, we have to find a threat or some sort of extortion, some sort of demand somewhere. And they couldn't. And that's literally the only thing that was like vaguely threatening. So they're like, OK, let's build a narrative around this. I really do think that, like, because they never provided a single threat that she uttered. Let's see. Delicate also said, absolutely, the Swifties have been infiltrated for many years by opposing fandoms like Ariana and Beyonce. Maybe he SH to bring her power down that he obviously felt she had. Oh, that's interesting. I wonder if
Maybe.
he was...
I actually think he's a misogynist. I think he looked at her as an object. I think that's why he got the friend between the legs. I think that's why he took a 2-second MOS clip from a montage and turned it into a half day.
God.
You know, like, and that half day being him groping on her and trying to get her to kiss. And I'll tell you that at the end of that, when we see his face fall off in total, like, whatever, like discontent.
It's because he never got a kiss.
It's because he never got the kisses, because he never got what he wanted out of that groping session, and he kept trying to get it. And that last time that she said, we should talk, he goes in for the kiss, bro. Like on that last move, he goes real in quick, and she's like, we should talk. And he gets frustrated.
He does.
His response is, yeah. And you can tell, like, he didn't want to hear it. And that's
why aren't you communicating with your fucking scene partner?
And then her defense was to work up the tease. And that's what led to the fucking horny growl. By the way, since I'm on the topic of the horny growl, I'll just interject right now. I've always talked about how gross it was that he puts his fingers on his lips. And while I was watching it during cutting the horny growl, I saw him do this with the finger that he put in her mouth.
The thumb.
And the finger. He did the thumb. Oh, yeah, and the thumb, right? Yeah, it was the thumb he put in her mouth. Right. But I saw him do it, bro. He went like this, dude. So now, did he go wash those hands, or did he put those hands on her lips, man?
It's the same scene.
If I did this I wouldn't put that near you.
And we've been together for a decade.
Yeah, for 13 years. You know, we've been through it all. I'm not going to ever do. I will go wash my fucking hands immediately, because that's just disgusting.
Oh my
God.
truly
I mean, maybe when you're fucking in grade 6 or something, you're like, hey, and not even know what you're doing. Fucking adults, man. Oh my God. So he stuck a dirty finger in my mouth.
I know, it was awful. When you discovered it, you're like, wait a minute.
I shrieked again. I was like, I can't believe I didn't make it for the horny growl episode, because I just noticed it. I was like, hey, did he just fucking do this with the fucking same thumb he puts in her mouth?
He did.
He did. He was inoculating her.
Yeah, that's his job as a director. Renata said the purpose of the intimacy coordinator, isn't she supposed to intermediate the discussions about about intimate scenes? Yeah. So he went and did it himself.
Well, she's also there to support the actor, because the problem with the problem that an IC solves is that it emboldens the actor to be able to speak freely about the problems that they have. So they're able to say, that guy's fucking creeping me out and I don't fucking like it.
I know.
And then the intimacy coordinator go, we have to change this because she's feeling a little uncomfortable with the way this is moving.
Listen,
and that's a part of how it goes. Or and sort of more succinctly, that's sort of like more on the darker side, and that would almost rarely ever happen. My guess would be, I think more likely is the scenario is similar to a stunt coordinator. In other words, what do you want from the scene? So what will happen is, like, so I'm the director and I'm like, hey man, we're going to do this. I'm going to lots of tongue. And then the IC is like, well, wait. Let's talk about what do we want from the scene? What's the accomplishment? What's the, what are you trying to accomplish with the scene? Well, dude, we just want everybody to know we're really tight, really fucking intimate. You know what I'm saying? Like, we're lovers. You know what I'm saying? So we're going to put a lot of tongue in there. And then they're like, no, we don't need to do that. Let's go with this. And then they actually create, like a stunt coordinator would, a process to achieve the director's goals without offending the actor with the tongue in their mouth.
Like they choreograph.
80s movies, bro. It's just big,
gross.
flat, wet fucking tongues just sliding into everybody's mouth.
I think that it's just really, really telling that fucking Baldoni didn't consider that it wasn't Baldoni that had a nudity rider that had to get approved by the production, that had to get signed as a contract, a promise to Baldoni that they weren't going to do anything outlandish with the nudity scenes. No, it was Blake Lively who had a nudity rider that had to get approved and signed by his production company.
Right.
So she's obviously the person that the intimacy coordinator is there for.
Yes.
What the fuck is he doing having a meeting without her and then expecting her to just go along?
She would only be there for her.
So he was basically, instead of her refusing to meet with the intimacy coordinator like he alleges, he basically kept her out of a meeting that he set up and took up the intimacy coordinator's time with, kept Lively out of it instead of scheduling it at a time where Lively was available or wanted to participating.
I mean, whatever, it's his money, but you can easily
No, but what I'm saying is, like, it's not effective. It's
what
for
I'm saying
her.
is that you can have the meeting with the intimacy, like I as the director can have the meeting alone with the intimacy coordinator and say, hey, these are some of the things I'm thinking, toss them around.
Oh yeah,
and then
totally.
when the talent comes in, we'll fucking figure out.
Yeah, with the intimacy coordinator,
cool.
not in her absence.
But you would have, I could work separately with the talent. I would work separately with the talent so that the intimacy coordinator has a good idea of what it is that I want. What are my expectations? In fact, I would prefer to do that and then have the intimacy coordinator work with both of us. So as the intermediator, should any of the ideas that I have not flow creatively with the talent.
Renata also says that Baldoni's message that he sent her, assuring her that everything was going to get addressed and be taken care of, is also similar to what he sent to another actress. It's carefully worded to not admit what he's accused of.
Yeah, he did the same thing with
Shane
Norman, also known as Mr. Howard on this podcast. But Shane Norman,
Stop that.
Shane Norman filed a discrimination claim along with a retaliation claim. And in that lawsuit, he describes a conversation with Justin Baldoni where he felt entirely assured that not only was he heard, but that there would be affirmative action.
Renata also says, Ashley Brianna Eve is posting on X a picture of the man that might be Baldoni's accuser of verbal abuse. Oh, it's a man? I doubt it. I don't know.
No, that makes more sense.
Baldoni's defenders don't know when to stop. Yeah, well, I hope everybody's
Well, the
having
problem
fun.
is that they're so pot committed at this point. That's a term in poker where you've put so much money in that you can't fold your hand even though you know you're beat. So you just keep putting it in. I've been there. I've been pot committed
Because you don't want to go home with nothing. You have to just keep trying.
No, it's not that you don't come home with nothing. It's when you're pot committed, you might as well just play even the worst odds. That's what it means. It means play the worst odds because you're all the way in.
So you're saying Baldoni supporters are pot committed?
Yeah, they're pot committed. That means that
can't go back.
They can't go back. It's a wrap. Andy Signor has to die with the scar of this on his fucking on his name. And I said this before and I'll say it again. I hope every single one of them get corrected for what they've done here because they are the fucking problem with this country. They are the problem with this country on display before all of us, and we don't have to get involved with anything political. We can look over at Andy fuck Signor or fucking that Zach shit Peters and look at these people as the example of what is wrong with our society in the absolute misinformation and gaslighting and astroturfing of human beings so that they can be used like fucking robots. And until you wake up and start doing the fucking job and listening to these long ass podcasts where Angela is willing to read through reams of fucking evidence to just prove the basics of this case, which is that they are fucking lying to your face in their own goddamned documents. All you have to do is be willing to look at it or just shut up and don't opine on it. Get the fuck out of the conversation. Go about your business. Go swim in the swimming pool or whatever it is you're going to do. And let those of us who are talking about it with information have the fucking argument.
It was just really nice to compile all the reasons why I think that all of Justin Baldoni's filings, like his lawsuit and his timeline document, are supportive of Blake Lively's claims. They support that that all of this is retaliation. That he never had anything bad to say about her. He can't provide any actual evidence of any of his claims. That it was all fucking fake. It was all fucking made up. Guilty Angel says, what kind of woman pens an email about another woman like that? Talking about the publicists, talking about Blake Lively, going on the attack against her. They actually say, they admit to one another, it's kind of sad that it just goes to show how people are so eager to hate on women. Yeah. And they lament this, they're really sad about it. And I'm like, you're the fucking architects of this entire disaster. You don't get to be sad about it. Stop doing it then if you don't like it. Guilty Angel said, I would fly through the roof if I read an email about myself like that.
For sure. Can you imagine getting that thing and then and just seeing what they're doing? I mean, oh my God.
A scientist said, I get it. When you start dissecting them, there's just so many you can't keep up.
Yeah.
Austin liked the quote that I added about that lawyer who was like, if you have facts, you can rely on those. If you don't, just bang the table really loud.
Yeah, it's a great quote.
Guilty Angel said, Justin's voicemail about the baby on the boob triggered me like hell. That was really fucking creepy. It was super weird how they twisted it as if that's not totally inappropriate.
Like if it's not, if it doesn't trigger you, who the fuck are you to talk to somebody like that who is your employee?
Yeah.
Like this is your employee.
I know.
This is not your fucking friend.
I know.
This isn't your fucking lifelong bud.
You guys just met.
And I told you this, and this is where I think in ICs and these kinds of and this problem in general being identified in Hollywood is such a good thing, is that you get two people who are intimate or who are supposed to be intimate and close on camera, and there can be this sort of effort, sort of rapid effort at trying to create a relationship that has depth and meaning to it.
Yeah,
so
they're
they can
supposed
bring
to be
that
like
to the screen.
because they're supposed to be like in love and married on camera, so they have to like accelerate that kind of relationship, that kind of comfort with each other. That voice note that we all agree is super strange for an employer to leave for his employee. That was in April, and she had only signed on to the project in late December of the previous year. So they'd only known each other for like not even 5 months.
Exactly.
It's just a little.
So baby on your boob is something you say to somebody that you've known for 5 fucking months who's your employee?
Yeah, I know. The Justin Baldoni supporters are always trying to use her words against her too, where she says yummy and never with teeth and she has these like other weird sayings that she says. And it's just so bonkers to me that they don't recognize that she's talking like a mom who's raising toddlers. Like, yes, a mom who's raising toddlers would say the word yummy, right? That would just be reflexive. She's got 4 kids, right? She has 3 kids.
Yeah, who
she talks to all day.
Mind, yeah.
Yes. And also never with teeth, for sure. The very first thing that I thought of when I saw that Blake Lively had written never with teeth, that she's like a ball buster, but don't worry, none of my jokes have any teeth. I was like, oh, like puppy play. Like puppies will play with each other and they'll play fight, but they're not like actually trying to hurt each other. They don't use their teeth. And I was like, oh yeah, because she's a mom of toddlers. Again, she would be thinking about puppy play. But his fucking fans turned it into like something about like blowjobs. Like they instantly ran with this idea that she's talking about sex.
Yeah, because as soon as you remove the teeth, it must be to pleasure a man.
What the fuck, right? It's so fucking bizarre.
Like, also, like what the fucking.
I was like, you guys are telling us more about yourself than you are saying about Blake Lively.
Can I just say something to Nick, who said that he's going to read it all, or she's going to read it all? I'm sorry if I'm misgendering.
That's Nick Carraway's wife.
Oh, Nick Carraway's, yeah, so it is she. I'm sorry, Nick Carraway's wife. She said, I think I will read it all, but Tony will always have a special place in my heart. And listen, I think he should. Like, I just want you to know that it's not my objective to change the way you feel about Tobey Maguire. I'm only telling the story about my experience with Tobey Maguire and the way I feel about him. But I'm not here to change anybody's mind about anybody. I'm just telling my fucking story and trying to survive. You know what I mean? I'm just trying to live through a very serious abuse of power that was inflicted by Tobey Maguire, but he didn't inflict that abuse of power on you. He inflicted it on me, and you don't have to protect me. I'm not asking you to protect me, but you reading my story, that means everything to me, because it at least makes you aware of the kind of shit that goes on, and maybe it'll help you understand why I say the things I do, so that you don't also have to, sort of point any bad energy toward me because I have these issues. See, part of why I wrote this book in the first place is because I want people to know that I'm not fucking saying these things about these people because I'm just trying to be a dick. I've gone through a very traumatic experience that these people, inflicted on me, and I decided to tell a story like so many do, so many humans do, through the great powers of a memoir. So thank you so much for reading. I do hope you'll come back and tell me what you think. And I don't want you to dislike Tobey. I want you to see all his movies. I want you to, hang posters on the wall or whatever you might do. And, enjoy your fandom. I totally understand it. And, it's hard to watch heroes fall. I'm not trying to chop yours down.
I also think it's super, very important for people who are knowledgeable about your story, or maybe people who have read your book, to be able to recognize when the smear campaign is turned on you. Mm-hmm. Like there's still a lot of people telling stories that are just false about Don's Plum and about the filmmakers. And so it's just really helpful to recognize when those things happen, because all they had to do was, Leo and Toby just had to put out a few stories that were negative about you guys in whatever tabloid press, and then ever since then they've just been regurgitated, repeated, just parroted ever since.
Yeah, I mean, we see it going with this case now, and they did the same thing back then. Turned a short into a feature, betrayed Leo, tried to use him for his fame, did it after he got famous from Titanic, all these lies, and they just put all these lies out in piles. And let whatever minions of theirs grab on and run away with them and spread it like the fucking plague.
I'm just really glad that your book exists so that people know what the true story is.
You want to see my dragon? It's not really mine. It's Angela's.
That's Dale's dragon right there.
That's my dragon. It's not. It's Angela's.
I wish I knew how to clean that. This was like a souvenir that my grandmother.
You have to put it in one of those solutions and just watch all the bubbles go up.
Yeah, I know. This was a a souvenir my grandmother
if it
had.
gets cleaned, it'll be my favorite thing ever.
I know. I was thinking of using some brass polish on it.
It's my dragon. Ain't no Taylor Swift here. Just a good old piece of awesome art.
Guilty Angel said, I knew Blake Lively from high school. She was in my grade, and I think her hair was more contained then. And for the record, Blake was always cool with me and my sister. I don't doubt that at all, you know. It's so weird when people are bringing up stories about, you know, adults and how they maybe behaved in high school as if that's any indication of how they are as adults. Like, I don't know.
No.
High school is a fucking war zone. Like, I don't blame anybody for acting weird in high school.
No, and I definitely don't want to be somebody who should. I don't want to be held. I can't like held to the standards of my high school version of myself. The version of me today is the most evolved version. Naturally.
Yeah.
I've learned the most. I've figured out
Right.
most of my mistakes. I've shedded most of the, you know, the indoctrinated fucking, you know, luggage of my forefathers. You know, I'm not there yet. I'm still moving toward. As I said, every single day is the best version of myself coming forward.
Yeah, and if you were a parent of 4, like Blake Lively is, you probably would have grown a lot more in the meantime since high school. It's just absurd.
We're going to finalize what we're watching, by the way. So what we're going to get to tomorrow.
No, not yet.
Is
Let me just
we're
get
going to
this.
finalize what we're watching, and so just keep that in mind for tomorrow's show.
Austin said, never with teeth. Yes, Blake Lively is absolutely saying that to her kids. Yep.
Yeah, exactly, 100%.
She's telling her kids, don't bite.
And them fuckers are sharp too, man. Them little fucking baby teeth.
It's so weird that they turn it into like sex stuff. Like, you guys are fucking
They're
pervs.
so-
It's no wonder you're defending the Baldoni. You know, like,
It's no wonder you're voting for
who's
Donald
a
Trump.
fucking giant fucking horn dog who destroyed his whole career because he couldn't keep his hands to himself. Cosmic Urgency is admitting that BJs are what I think of when I hear without teeth. Well, you're not alone. A lot of Baldoni supporters think that too.
Yeah.
Anyway, I think we're caught up. Austin said she was also a working actress in high school too. Blake Lively.
Oh yeah, yeah. She's been in the business forever, dude. And so that's why she's not going to just fucking blow it up one day.
Yeah,
She's going to walk in with this newbie fucking come in and blow up her career, walk in and destroy everything she's built for 2 decades, walk in and destroy everything that her husband has built for more than 2 decades. What is this nonsense, dude?
Especially if she's so fucking powerful and rich that she can. She
doesn't need to blow
No, that
anything
she
up.
can manipulate Sony of all fucking organizations. Then why is she trying to take a film away from Baldoni when she can just greenlight her own shit? You know what I'm saying?
Because she can't, because she's not powerful, because she's just like everybody else. She's an employee to Sony. And the only reason that Sony came around was because Sony sat and watched and saw that this thing had gotten completely out of control. And Blake Lively was there to pick up the pieces. And it wasn't just Blake Lively. She also brought around the producer, Black. What's his first name again?
Todd Black.
Todd Black. Brought in Todd Black, who is an Academy Award nominated producer and who is highly capable and able to come in and pick up the pieces of what was ultimately a shambles production by an inexperienced group of guys who couldn't take seriously the job that they had at hand.
What is this? This is a shambles production.
It's a sham. You're all a sham.
What is this shambles production? We need to clean it up. It's in shambles. So, I think that's all that we have for you today.
Thank you,
Don't you think?
Angela, for all your reading.
What was it that you were going to say? I just wanted to get to Austin's comment before you segued to, you were talking about movies?
We have to decide what we're watching this weekend, and I know that it's a Robert Redford. I think we should do a Redford star and
Yes.
a Redford director.
I love this idea.
So I think that's what we're going to do this weekend. We're
Yep.
going to watch a Redford star. So
Bobby Redford.
Bobby Red, B Red. So Robert Redford, we're gonna decide on that. Probably Butch Cassidy or President's Men. We have to figure out which one we'll kind of go with what we're in the mood for, because Butch Cassidy is kind of a Western, obviously, and then you have all the President's Men, which is a political drama. Mm-hmm. But it's a political drama that kind of like, boy, you'll think when you're done with that, you're gonna be like, what was really wrong with Nixon after all? Just because of where we are.
Oh, just that?
Yeah.
That's nothing. I can't believe he got impeached for that.
No, Nick, we're not watching Tobey Maguire movies.
No, we're not watching Tobey
I haven't
Maguire
watched
movies.
Tobey Maguire. I saw Brothers, man, and that was like not good for me.
I actually had a really easy time when I met Dale and I learned his story because I was never really a fan of DiCaprio or Tobey Maguire, and so I didn't really have to do. It wasn't really a conflict, you know.
It was easy for you. You were like, yeah, no problem. I don't watch them anyway.
Right.
But Departed, I couldn't stay away from, so I watched that because it was Jack Nicholson with Scorsese.
Oh yeah, I mean, come on.
I could not miss that.
Of course.
And I fucking loved it, even if. And I thought Leo was fantastic in it. I thought he was absolutely brilliant. I thought he was exactly the right. I thought it was an Oscar-worthy performance. I thought it was way better than his Blood Diamond performance, another performance I caught that year because I was like, yeah, I could do this. It was like, just like total like false confidence because like I just fucking spiraled after watching those. And
listen, it's really difficult to be faced with your biggest abuser. Like, there's I don't think it's strange at all that you were literally traumatized by these people. They changed the course of your life forever, and you didn't deserve anything like that. You didn't do anything to deserve it.
I think people will truly understand the loss. It's so impossible. It's impossible to understand the loss. I didn't really even understand it until I could look at it retrospectively. Do you know what I mean? Like as it was happening, all I felt, it's like you're sitting there just trying to keep your nose above the water.
Yeah, of course.
So you're just scrambling and splashing in the water. But now that I've kind of gotten myself to a point where I can like kind of look down and see what happened, I never saw any of it coming. It's fucking exhausting.
I've noticed that I kind of wore you down tonight. You're like way slouched in your chair.
I've also, it's just been a long day for me. And,
I know, I'm sorry.
And part of the reason why I'm like, I'd rather be doing these in fives is because this is like such a big giant file that I have to work with. It's just like so much work now because it's just like, this is Everest episode. I don't even know how, I don't even have approach to how to work on it in my head. So there's probably like future me going, oh my God.
Just do one big cut and then ship it.
Yeah, we'll figure. It's just, and it's also like there's a lot going on with it from the cut points that I got to just deal with, but it's cool. I just have to, do more work. That's all. You guys are so awesome. I hope you appreciated Angela's hard work, man. She's been working on that for 2 fucking days. So thank you, Angela, for reading all of that. It certainly refreshed my memory on a lot of facts, and I even got to see that little scrapbook, which I had never seen before. So that was some new actual physical evidence that I hadn't actually seen, where he
was like, how to be more horny, how to change the script last minute.
Everything I want is sex.
I want I want to see Blake Lively have orgasms. Let's just make sure that she does this with with the intimacy coordinator's approval.
No, I do. I think this guy does have a
fucking
sexual obsession, and I think he takes it out on the women around him. I think that acting gave him an outlet for it. I think he saw a major opportunity to grope on one of the hottest women in Hollywood, and I think he took it. That's why I think he put his friend between her legs, because I think it was just, and that's why I think Jamie Heath was sneaking peeks at her, because I think she was just an object. She was this big, giant movie star. She was considered to be one of the most beautiful women in Hollywood, and she was their toy, their plaything for the period of time that they had her. And unfortunately, she had more self-esteem than that. For them, unfortunately for them.
Now they're in a big fucking
lawsuit. She also
lawsuit.
had the fucking courage and the money to be able to stand up against them and fight the good fight for all of us. And I do mean all of us, because it's not just women she's fighting for.
That's right.
She's fighting for people who's had their names destroyed by publicists hired by people to do so. And that's fucked up. And, most of us didn't even know it was happening. It's happened to me.
Yep.
I see it happening to Hollywood all the fucking time. And now she's pulled that fucking curtain back, and we can see these fucking scumbags for who they truly are. Oddly attractive people with really fucking wicked agendas.
It's true, dude. Every single one of her wins feels like a win for us too.
It really does.
I'm proud of her. I hope she keeps going.
I hope Brian Friedman trips and breaks his nose or something. Nothing terrible, just a broken nose or
if his socks are always wet.
Oh, that's a good one. Where he takes off.
May your socks always be wet.
Feet are all blue and crinkly because they're always wet. You can cut them off you could cut the toes off with a butter knife. That's gross.
Thanks, Dale. On that note,
let's go eat something. You guys are fucking amazing. I love you guys. I hope you enjoyed your evening. I'm sorry that I didn't personally get much involved with chat tonight. I'm too exhausted. For those of you who stopped by for the book, I thank you for reading. I thank you for hanging out with us. Know that I'm not trying to break down your idols. I'm just fighting against them for my own survival. They didn't do anything to you, but they fucked me up bad. And so, we do what we can to survive. You guys are absolutely wonderful human beings that I hope will join us again tomorrow night where we'll maybe have a 2-hour episode instead of a 7-hour episode. We're not even live yet. Wait till you got to pull these things off. You got to pull all this stuff out for the trial.
Oh, yeah. That's right.
Good night, everyone. You guys are terrific.
Good night.
Bye-bye.